Oh, buddy. How we doing? It's Stampede week.
Oh, I'm so hungover.
How we holding up, everybody? We're good? Did you get lots of pancakes? If you had lots of pancake breakfasts?
I'm hungover and I ate 14 pancakes.
Nice.
I'm just
Did you get your boots off, or did you fall asleep with the boots on?
I got the shoe. I got the boot horn. I'm fine.
Yeah, nice.
That's a key for this week.
We've been relying on Jack, and all Jack says is, nah.
He had a sneak a peek night, refusing to go home Thursday. Now he's cooked for the whole Stampede.
Did you overdo it?
One and done.
Cook the goose?
Cook the goose.
Yeah.
Sad.
It's
Real
so soft.
Letting us all down, Jack.
I can't decide if you're playing smarter than everyone else, but I doubt that is the case.
Just judging by the
Well,
grammar and the
Yeah,
labeling.
the
No,
spelling.
but
Yeah, it seems
it's different kind of smarts. Maybe street smarts.
unlikely.
I really wanted to go to the U.S.
Why
but
didn't you go to the U.S.?
My
You
buddy
scared of
wasn't
ice?
there.
You're gonna get detained.
No, my buddy that I stay with, he's back in Calgary. So
F him.
Is your passport up to speed?
no,
It's probably going to be 72 too.
That's fine.
What's wrong with your passport?
my American one's expired.
So go get a new one. You can get it $100. Get it same day.
Ooh, really?
Yep.
Same day?
Expedited.
All right. Well,
I
I'll
would
get you
check
to
into
walk me
this
through it.
And to swing by Rhett Industries.
I can tell you that this can happen because
Why is there Scotch
said
tape on this?
situations have
Yeah.
arisen
Yeah.
in
Aroused. Hey,
this man's life.
Rhett's aroused.
Yeah, Stampede week.
Hello.
This show is a presentation of Bet365. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Official partner of the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. Be 19 or older. And please play responsibly.
Mhm.
And of course, the super chat is open. No horn today.
Push the button.
Can't do it. Fwee fwa, fwee fwa. You've got one on that board, don't you, John?
Come on.
Two horn. You turn it up and then press the button. And there you go.
No.
Yeah, whatever.
It's
All the money will go to
super chat.
You sent us to
Senators
Calgary.
of Calgary.
He's finding it. He's scanning through. He's looking
Great
through the
spot for kids
menus.
to go.
Yep.
After school care. Hot
There's
meals.
no
systems.
horn.
I thought we put the horn.
Are
on.
we live? Or
Oh
is-
shit!
No,
yeah.
we're not live.
It's just
Well,
so-
someone might be watching this tomorrow, Rhett. We've gone over this.
I'm
It's
not
hard to know
saying.
what
I'm
live
saying
is.
that we think things are happening, and it's quite possible that we're just not.
No, it looks like it's on.
We're operating
Yeah, it looks like we're
full capacity.
cooking with gas.
What a time to do a show.
Yeah,
So much happened.
great time. Great time to do a show. Super chat. You send us to Calgary. You put a comment in. We'll put the comment on the show, and they give the money. You send us to Calgary. Yeah, it's been a few days. Last we spoke
It's game day.
Thursday.
Friday.
Oh, it's Thursday. It's game day.
Did we do a show Friday?
We didn't do. We did. We're pre-recorded.
No.
No.
Well, yeah. A show to be. Yeah,
Not live.
that's
The
something.
last time we spoke, not to
Right,
people.
but to the royal we
Right.
Thursday.
That was a big day.
Twas.
Was
Yeah. Well, even Rhett came down to the old McMahon
I did.
to watch the Stampede.
What a night. It's a little
Oh,
worried.
what
Got
a
a little
night.
cloudy there. Looked a little.
Brett Michaels absolutely crushed it. You
He-
would have been proud of him. You never know what you're going to get with these guys in this demo, but like he floored it. He knew exactly what he was doing. That dude's an
That's what
entertainer.
Rhett was saying. It was the
Whew.
Stampede Bowl. Stampeders hosting the Bombers over at McMahon.
Mac Mahone.
And yes, even Rhett said, you know what? I give that guy credit because he came out and he did everything he could to
Yep.
put on a show for everybody.
He was
you-
one.
You don't know that that's going to be the case. You hear a lot, oh, this guy
seen the
just
opposite.
stood there. He didn't do anything. No, he came in and he gave you the best Brett Michaels.
You're
he
effing
could.
right. He did. He was full effort. A+
Love
for effort, and it was awesome.
Like us, right? Guys getting on in years,
Oh,
but
geez.
when the lights are on,
Maybe even better than us, which
They
is a
bring
high
it.
bar.
yeah, they bring it. Love it. Jack, did you know any of the songs?
Yes, the last one.
Nothing but a good time.
Nothing but a good time.
Right.
Also, every rose has its thorn. That's you knew that one.
Did I?
No, maybe not. I saw
Why
it.
is he telling you?
Seems
He was swaying. He was making out with Harvey the dog. I figured
Yeah.
he knew that song for sure.
Yeah, it
That's a
was
slow
awesome.
jam. Yeah.
Jack loves
And
this
the
song.
stamps.
Wow, he must really
Rush.
like this.
Wow,
stamps.
yeah.
Oh,
How
that staff's just
about it?
absolutely denied.
Hey, people from Manitoba, why don't you come over here? We'll kick your ass.
How about it? Well, hey, we talked to Jay McNeil.
He
He
said
said this
that
trophy
trophy
is
was
going nowhere.
He was
He's
right.
Bang on.
He knew. We should have trusted him. What, 14 years in the league?
I
I
walked
did
in,
trust
they
him.
scored a touchdown, and it was clear sailing.
Yeah.
Bang, 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 bang.
Now, did you take family?
Family, everyone was pumped.
Had a
I
hell
gotta
of
be
a time.
honest, I haven't been a big CFL promoter.
Oh,
Kids have not been to the games yet, and they thought
that's
it
their
was
first
awesome.
CFL
They
game.
had a great time.
Yes,
Wow, that's amazing.
They
That's
were
a good
pumped.
game to go to.
They were like, "Where are we going?"
Oh,
Football game.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Oh, this was awesome.
It's the whole thing.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Sorry,
There you go.
poutine, thumbs up.
Okay.
Really?
The hot dog. The kid got like a loaded hot dog.
Yeah.
Oh my god, foot long. Like it.
Yeah, sure.
Oh baby, pizza was good. Food was good. Brisket. Oh Dino, have some
Brisket.
brisket. Have a brisket. Go get have a
Where
brisket.
was the brisket?
It's so good. I don't know where it is, but it was delicious.
It's in the details, man. You go somewhere, the food's no good. You're not going to be inclined to go back. You go somewhere, food was great.
Yeah.
Check.
This is
an
Houses,
option.
check.
And the cops didn't arrest me, so that was good.
Yeah, that's happened at McMahon
Yeah.
before.
No, you weren't peeing in the
Oh,
concourse
it
this
looks
time,
like
though,
they've
right?
really
Yeah,
upped the urinal.
yeah,
Capacity. Yeah. Just moved to troughs. What are we doing here?
yeah.
I was ready to be arrested at that point.
Yeah,
I was going to say, I think maybe
I'm
You were
willing
ready
to
to
sacrifice. This is what it takes. you
Rhett's
know?
doing the math. He's like, it's 120 bucks with the taxi. And yeah, I'm just going to go to the drug tank.
I
Save
just-
some time, get a free
I'm
ride.
just going to go sit in the back of this car.
No, it was more piss my pants.
Yeah. Yeah. But all good for them. And you guys, like, I don't know. It looked to me like the red carpet was rolled out for you donkeys.
Wow.
Well, and look, even before the game started, the carpet was rolled out because we had 2 tailgates to attend. Jack's got the photos. We can get to it. Celebrity sightings everywhere,
Uh-huh.
and we'll walk you through the day.
Are
that
you the
was.
celebrities that were cited? Or there
No,
were-
no. That we ran
Friends of
into.
the show?
Good, okay.
Yeah. So we started at John Bender's tailgate.
Attaboy, Bender.
And now who do you see hiding in there, by the way?
Can't make it out. It's too small. My eyes are not.
Cammy. Who, by the way, is going to be making a barn burner cameo on Thursday. A cammy.
A
Oh.
cameo.
Yeah, get it? See? So that was tailgate 1 of 2. Now you can't go to the Stamps game and tailgate without our boy Greg from Bonton. Look at
If I'd have
this.
gotten there earlier, I was planning on going.
Beautiful stuff.
And who's the guy on the right?
I think that was a fan of the show. I'm not sure. Jack, can you identify that?
No idea.
Okay.
It's a fan. I was taking the picture.
That's obviously that's right.
It's one of those Google things.
You're right, yeah,
Yeah, okay.
And just stand there now. Okay.
So what was at the Bonton meet?
Well, we told you last week they had the Sloppy Joes going, cold red Solo cups, which are always delicious, and just always fixins and
Yeah.
accoutrement, etc.
You weren't wearing your swim shorts this time.
No, I got heckled about the swim shorts. I did go with the Doc flip flops, though, which at the end of the night, 1 a.m. was not what I needed in a wild horse tent. But hey,
Yeah.
we persevere.
Yeah. All right.
So then we go from there. We meet our buddy Adam, who got us. He was our escort for the night. He had all the passes to get everywhere.
Escort for
He
the
was
night.
he was our liaison. He was the.
He said, we're important.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we joined the dancing fools that make up the crowd
Love it.
for the Poison concert.
Yeah.
And Brett Mike's just giving her. So were his bandmates. Like they were into
Dude,
it.
it was great.
And Big Earn was on the right of the stage, just very slowly nodding his head, like, yes, I do approve of this message. It was quite a scene. He went 3 minutes over. The teams are waiting. Nobody cared.
Love
it was
it.
awesome. Now, the same fan must have followed us in because I got a picture with Ralph the dog there. On the field, Dino. Look
On
at
the
this.
field, on the new turf.
Now, if you look over that stranger that kind of looks like Jack's shoulder, do you see the man with the brand new cowboy boots, the blazer and cowboy hat?
I do. Yeah.
I'll give you one guess. That was the commissioner of the CFL.
Oh.
The new one, Stu Johnson,
That
who
boy
used to be an
Stu?
exec at TSN.
STU.
Yeah, there's Amel, our benevolent overlord from Toronto, who was out visiting.
Right.
He was enjoying the red carpet. And also, by the way, the Flames prospect camp, development camp was going on. So they brought that whole crew through. And look at this. Seabrook, new addition to the development team. Michael Stone, the better Stone, we often say.
Yeah, that's the way.
And Marty Jelna, the eliminator, still looks like he could run a marathon without sweating.
Probably would have been fine if you weren't in the picture.
Well, it's just that it would just be us taking pictures of strangers. It was
Yeah,
more like
that
we
was-
see the past. We're trying to
Anyway,
showcase
cool.
Team issued
Yeah.
shoes there, it looks like, too.
yeah, they matched the shoulders. That was the whole
I heard
thing.
the shoes were There was some discussion about the shoes.
Really?
Flip-flops.
So how's so Seabrook, like you say, new to the fold? How's he?
Yeah, he
Like
just
in
said,
Flames
look,
life.
he was doing some stuff with Hockey Canada. Some conversations started happening, and he was keen to get in. And said everything's been going great so far. Obviously, they ran a much smaller dev camp this year. There was no scrimmage. It was a lot of development and on-ice drills, which, fans don't
How do
necessarily
you prove
wanna-
yourself? You can't go out and fight, team.
Yeah, they'll be fighting in main camp, maybe.
Okay.
Just no fighting at all anymore.
That's what development camp is
That's
for.
what it's about.
After the game, we got to meet maybe the most long-standing Stampeder. I believe it's 17 years on the job. That's Quick Six, the horse. Quick Six, beauty of a horse.
Hey, quick six. It was a big win tonight. Why the long face?
Quick Six was tired. A lot of running the stamps, put the boots to.
Fuck, all right, hurry up. I got an
I
oat
feel
bag
like
I
that's
need
the
to dive
effing
into.
building I went into to try and get my 50-50 winnings, and they said I was.
You didn't win, eh? That's weird. Now, because Rhett was there, we were there. You
Yeah.
said you weren't there.
Uh-huh.
You weren't there.
I was not there.
Then who's this? Because I swear it was the concourse at the very end, right by the.
You
beer-
were there.
Well, that's
See?
after the game. Yeah, I wasn't there for
Oh,
kickoff.
okay. So it was a little foggy.
Yeah.
And you're wearing sandals too. So stop taking runs. At me,
Yeah,
okay?
I had a fancy dinner I needed to go to. You can see I'm dressed for it.
That's right. Obviously.
I got there late. Yeah.
And then at the end of the game, we got to go on the field, which is really cool because
He
it's
loves
the new
field.
turf.
He likes going on the field.
He loves
Um,
it. Hugging people, taking pictures. Bye,
Well,
Jack.
They
See you later.
win the game. There's the trophy. They've got the commissioner, the TSN panel was here, and the fellas, they were not shy about zipping that trophy around, hooting and hollering. And VA got the belt buckle for player of the game, which is pretty cool. He had not thrown a touchdown yet, despite having some good wins. They moved to 3-1. They got the Durs this week, but we had one final piece. Look at that belt buckle, by the way. Tell you
I
what, you're new to
dig it.
Calgary. You're looking good. That's going to work. Whew.
I mean, I said when McNeil was in here, good on them for leaning in.
Yes.
Yeah, they did
Own
a hell
this
of a
thing,
job.
right?
That
Hell
trophy's
of a
huge
job.
too. 60 pounds. Goodness.
They did a hell of a job.
It's a thing now.
It is a
And
thing.
it's
That's now a
established.
calendar event.
Yeah, I was obviously happy for Dave as the coach.
Yes.
So much attention now that's on this game that may not be otherwise. You want to have a good, maybe you win, maybe you lose. Let's have a good showing. They blew the doors off the Bombers.
The best team in the league last 4 years.
Great for the team, the brand. Fans are going to be encouraged to come back. Those that missed it are going to be encouraged to go and see one down the road. It's awesome. I was so happy for for Jay and all those guys that put so much work, because you could see everywhere you looked online and even around the city, around the stadium, the logo was everywhere. There was so much talk and hype for it. It was a lot of work
It was.
that went in.
I think just top to bottom, the organization, everyone leaned in on it.
Yeah.
And you could tell that they wanted this to be a huge success. It absolutely was. There was one piece of business left, though. Because Jack, he says, I'm not on the dating apps. I'm just done. So we needed to just at least give it one more try before the end of the night. There's
Oh boy, Jackie!
Jack and the
Hey there,
gang
Jackie
Right in
boy.
there.
with the Outriders. What a night.
Kick, jump.
It's good
That's
stuff.
good for you, Jack.
It was
That's
good
why
night,
you
Dean.
didn't go to Montana. You
That's
slide on.
That's
you.
right.
Yeah, I'm just going to hang around the city, I think. For,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
a
You
little
guys doing
bit here.
anything this weekend?
Yeah, they got an off day. I mean, I got an off day tomorrow, so we're gonna. I'm just.
Congrats to everybody.
Congrats, Jack.
Not to Jack. To
No.
the
Oh,
Stamps.
sorry, you're talking about something
Yeah.
else. That's great.
Congrats to everybody over
That's
there.
great.
No, I was it was Thursday, and that has been the night where now good you know what, I consider them partners of the show, because every
Yeah.
year we do the Top Shelf Off the Christmas campaign. Cody Snyder, Bull Bustin, Cody and Rhonda put on a great show over at the Grey Eagle parking lot. It's a parking lot.
Well, it does feel like
About
we're
2
there.
weeks
Yeah.
prior to the event, and then you get there, it's like, what is happening here? This is bananas. It was the night, I guess it's the Central Alberta, it's the Child Advocacy Center. They have one here. They have a number of them now, and it's really been on the back of Sheldon Kennedy and his willingness to put his name behind it and all of that. So it was the night where a lot of money is raised
Ton.
for those specific charities, and we go every Thursday of that week, which has now added another day.
I know.
Just
5
continues
days
to
they're
grow.
doing this. Is that right?
They sold the whole thing out in
Holy.
under 5 minutes
For next year,
just every year.
already sold out.
Yeah, every year. They not for next year yet, but just
Okay.
whenever they say it's limited tickets, and just bang, they go.
Gone.
And the Cowboys had a hell of a night. The Cowboys were winning. The Calcutta.
Really?
The people we were with. So there was Sheldon and his wife, and then there was this group of people that work with Sheldon. Sheldon's a farmer now. I don't know if you know this.
Okay.
He's He's
like
a big
real
time.
farmer. Like
No, he's an actually, yeah. Well, it's not cattle.
It's not
that's
ranching.
ranching.
Yeah. But he's into he's got a bunch of land out in Saskatchewan. There's irrigation and he's doing all kinds of stuff.
Growing lentils.
So anyway, he's they're growing all kinds. It's straight out of combine, is I think what they call it. You get it. Pinder gets it. It's big potato growers.
No way.
So a whole bunch of people that he works with from Texas and wherever. You guys should come up for Stampede, and this night it's our night at Bull Bust on Thursday. So we had a bunch of his partners, his potato growing partners.
Mhm.
They got into the Calcutta. They're cowboy.
No way.
8-7, I think is. I'm trying to remember what his
It's a
score
tiny
was.
score.
Anyway, top
87.
top scoring bull rider on the night, and they won the Calcutta.
Man.
And then they bought you drinks
a
all
lot
night.
of-
You got
Well, they were very excited.
I
They were
was going to
very
say
excited.
that there's still lots of runway left once you win the Calcutta. I'm
They
guessing.
were
So
pumped.
Thursday Stampede.
It's
Which
another-
tent are we going to?
another awesome event. I just,
They do a great job.
I sat there with the woman I live with, and I said, you know what? Look at this. Like, it's Cody and Rhonda. They have 2 daughters, and they're running around like it's a family-owned thing, and this people everywhere. Everyone's having a good time. There's fireworks and there's bulls and
A little fire in the
yeah, all just from putting dirt in the middle of the parking lot.
They're good at it.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's all.
Yeah, it's a little more than
Just some
that.
dirt. Jack.
And they raised hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years. I wish that I could be part of something, start something and make it grow and become a huge success.
One day, Dean.
Thanks, Jack.
With Jack's support, I think you can make it.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that's how you feel about anything. So
Well, you'd think I'd be accustomed to whatever this is by now. It's 3 years of doing this shit.
acceptance, dude. It's fucking 3
Talking into
years.
microphones for like 3
Don't
decades.
forget. Down.
Push it down. Push it down. Vacation coming up. Push it down.
Opening statements from McLeod Law.
They're probably busy today.
Maybe, I was just going to say,
Very busy.
maybe something happens during Stampede week where I could use a little legal assistance. McLeod-law.com. They're in Calgary. They get it.
They're here.
They know the pressures
They understand Stampede.
and also the circumstances that may stem from it.
Mhm.
I mean, we're having fun with it, but it's true.
That
If-
Carney said the seat was locked. I
You
didn't
may
check the
need-
seatbelt. That's his job.
whether whether it's personal, business, whatever you got going on, it's the first and only call you make. McLeod Law, good partners of ours. They're out stampeding, doing all that.
They
kind
got a
of
big
stuff.
fiesta tomorrow. The Wolverine and I are going to swing by and
Very nice.
tip caps to the gents and ladies there.
Tip caps. There you go. Guys are complaining. This is talking it's a farm show. We're not talking hockey.
We should talk about it.
agricultural
I'm talking
hour?
about
It's a farm show.
Block them, Jack.
Here's the thing. We kind of talk about what we kind of want to talk about.
I'll tell you else what else. Sheldon Kennedy's played more hockey than you've seen, buddy. Whatever you're bitching about. So if we want to talk about Sheldon Kennedy
We're going to talk about
He's
you.
a
and his
beauty, that guy.
potatoes, that's what we'll do.
That's right. That's what
And we might just talk about Sheldon Kennedy and his potatoes
Sure.
just to annoy you, because
Talk about Brent Seabrook. He's
Are you big on the russet? What's your is it? No, I mean, there's some hockey.
there
Not a
is.
lot's happened since we left, to be honest. I guess
Really?
like, Ehlers found a home.
Ehlers found a home.
The least exciting thing ever.
It's the only name left, really. I was trying to look at
And
the
even at
lists we had
that,
last week.
okay.
I'll say
Great.
this: the
Where we
biggest,
thought he'd go.
the biggest story is a story that didn't develop, but nearly did, involving the Calgary Flames, which is an offer sheet for Bowen Byram. The Buffalo Sabres go to arbitration with Byram on
The
whatever,
team takes
Saturday.
the player, which is unique. Saturday was players eligibility. Sunday, the teams can take players to.
Yeah. So by early Sunday morning, the Sabres announced they're taking Byram to arbitration, which then eliminates any potential for an offer sheet.
Correct.
It's a CBA deal.
Well, once you're
It's off the
making a
table.
deal with the team, you can't be
Yeah.
offer sheeted. Yeah.
but it was widely reported and speculated in going into draft weekend throughout even the week after. Now, there's some teams that are looking at Bowen Byram. This guy's 23 years old, hasn't asked to be traded, but
he's asked for more opportunities, asked for a lot of salary.
Yeah, Drager has talked about it, I think, in kind of back-to-back weeks. That the Flames are one of the teams that are in there, and as things moved forward, we're kind of led to believe that this was very, very close
St.
to
Louis
getting done.
Apparently, very close as well. They considered
close that there was going to be a trade or
that the Flames were going to offer sheet Bowen Byram,
or at least use the threat of an offer sheet to get a deal with the Sabres, because that's essentially what Carolina did to Keandre Miller,
or sign him to an offer sheet.
Okay, if that's what
yeah,
you're
but
hearing,
they weren't allowed to. So you can't be that close because they weren't allowed.
You were allowed on July 1 to offer
Prior to Sunday, you were.
Oh, so you had a day to do it?
No.
I'm confused.
He's an RFA. You can sign him to an offer sheet post July 1.
They had 4 days before ARB stuff.
Oh, before. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and to be fair, a year ago, they were allegedly very heavily considering offer sheets to the tandem in Edmonton.
I was going to invest in Apple in 82. And,
right.
Very close. In fact, close. I'm told he was closing in.
It hadn't gone up.
Yeah. On the free agent frenzy, that was one of the things that they were monitoring, and Drager was throwing it out there. So,
okay, and I'm serious. I know you got somewhere to go with it, but I'm curious, what's he worth? Pinder probably has and if you do it, what are you giving up?
Here's the thing.
Opposed to a trade.
What I'm led to believe is that it was not so much the price they were going to have to pay, which would have been first, second, and third. It was, okay, if we're okay with that to get the player, then what is the contract? How many years? How much money per? And you're going to be in that $9 million plus territory.
That's a scary, scary thing.
Which is, I think, why it didn't happen. It wasn't so much, well, we got picks in a first, second, third. Get your head wrapped around that. To get him to
sign it, it was going to be.
But then you're dedicating
a lot of money. So the band of salary, which dictates the compensation for the offer sheet, that is a first, a second, and a third, is from $7.02 million all the way up to $9.36. And that's a lot of money you're dedicating to someone that's had a lot of hype as a prospect and had a very good playoffs in 2022, but had posted very meh results since. Now, a lot of guys have played in Buffalo and posted shitty results and been excellent elsewhere. But I just don't know what you're buying with Bowen Byram.
What are the and I'm not taking you to task, just because I
he's
saw
not
you
a great
tweet
defender.
about it.
He has points that he collects on the power play. When he's on the ice, he gets outchanced and outscored more than you want for a guy that's going to make that kind of money. Like if he's just a power play 2, 4, 5, you can't pay him that. Bouchard outchances opponents even when he's not with McDavid and Draisaitl. The data supports him moving the puck the right direction almost all the time, no matter who he's playing with. Very different than Bowen Byram. Like we're talking about a guy that could, like, I don't think it'd be crazy for Bouchard to flirt with 100 points. Byram's had like 30. Yeah. These are not the same player at all, right?
And like you say, is that
Buffalo?
Is he a 50-point guy in a different spot?
Maybe.
Trouble is, I don't know how much more feared the offense is in Calgary than Buffalo. Maybe slightly, but it's not like.
I can tell you what you're right, but on the other side of it is who's playing defense for you.
Yeah, they have a right? Darlene and Power there, and the other thing I'll say is it's not necessarily about like the offense of the team. It's like who's good at developing talent, because that's where Buffalo's dropped the ball. Guys have left and been way better elsewhere. So no one would be surprised if Bowen Byram left Buffalo, went to another team, and played better. It's just you're asking him to get a lot better to earn that salary that he's asking for, which can happen. But it wasn't like Sam Reinhart was putting up 30 points and went to Florida. He was a very good player that turned into a great player in Florida.
I don't know.
He's not a very good player right now. He has the tools to be one, but it hasn't happened for whatever reason. Like, I don't think Colorado's missing him, for example. He can't crack a top pair anywhere, and yet he wants to get paid like a top pair guy.
So, I don't know. I feel
I just because I like to argue with you. You don't always put your first and second best defenseman together.
For sure.
So what if you're in Buffalo, Rasmus Dahlin is your number one defenseman, right?
Yep.
So does Byron have to play with him? You know what I mean? Like,
you
I have a hard time differentiating between 2 and 4 on really good teams with really good defensemen.
Yeah.
2 to 4 is a tough because you might, it's circumstantially, well, I'm a lefty, he's a right.
Totally.
Right. Like, so to just say, well, you can't crack a top pair. Maybe he can't, but
He has
also
2 stops, but that doesn't mean he's not a good player.
Yeah, but where was he? Cale Makar
and Taves, and so that's circumstantial, 100%. And so again, it's this black box of what do we know about Bowen Byram, top pair defenseman? Nothing. And so he might be one, but you're leaning into the unknown a bit. And he's a guy that said, I need more opportunity. I want to get paid like a 1-2. You're paying him for something he hasn't done yet. Doesn't mean he can't do it. He just hasn't done it.
But that's the world that we live in. You're paying 23-year-olds coming out of an entry level or going after a 1 or 2 year contract post entry level. You're paying for what you hope they're going to be.
Yeah.
You're having to dedicate huge swaths of dough.
Or you go short term and they prove it and then you pay them. Yeah, it's one or the other. And so that's where I think Buffalo.
Then you also risk them saying, no, I'm not coming back to you. And now we control everything. Like
he's playing almost 23 minutes a night. That's for sure top pair type minutes. But I don't know. It's a bad team, and it's tough to watch him and say, oh, he's going to be great elsewhere. He could be.
Yeah, like I wonder, does
he have to be?
Yeah, like is he a superstar, or does he come in and it's like he's very Mackenzie Weegar-ish?
You could pay him more than Weegar, but I think he's not as good as Weegar. But yeah.
But you know what? Moving forward at 25, 26, if you're paying him $9+ million and he's Mackenzie Weegar, is that a ridiculous overpay?
If he's Weegar, you get this done.
If he's
he's not Weegar right now. That's the problem. So he has to get there.
Right.
So that's the whole secret sauce is like, how confident are you he's going to get there? And how much risk are you willing to take betting he's going to get there? Yeah. Because when you give up your McKenna first and a second and a third, and then devote top pairing salary to a guy and make him your highest paid defenseman, he better not be a 3-4.
No, I know. And
so that's the risk. I'm not saying he's not this or he's not that. I'm just saying there's a lot of unknowns, which is why this is a difficult deal to make. And the ARB is interesting because he probably, if it gets there, will elect a 2-year settlement, go right to UFA. Or it just says, okay, ARB date's here. We're going to trade you before then. Those are the 2 outcomes I see for Byram and the Sabres.
I know we don't like plus minuses numbers. Surprisingly, there's some plus players on this Buffalo team. There's some minuses as well, but plus 11 for Byram. Rasmus Dahlin plus 11 as well. So, I feel the same way. So it's if you felt more confident about what the player is, just do it.
Yeah, totally.
This is how you get good young players. We talk about it all. How do you
their
get
age
these
scheme,
guys?
right?
Okay, so what are they doing?
They're trying to add good young players.
I'm still confused as to what the plan is, because if you're not taking a stab and taking this guy, and because you were interested, it makes me think that you are thinking you're a good team and you want to add and be better next year.
This is a move for the future. He's not like 27, right?
Yeah, 23 years old.
Like he fits their age scheme. So if you got him, you'd probably lock him up long term, and you've locked him up till his 30s. Now, whether you use that first on the Gavin McKenna draft class or this guy, you've got a young player that you've got for around the next decade. I don't think it's saying that they think they're good if they go get Bowen Byram. They're always going to be trying to add good young players, especially left shot D where they have only ball.
Yeah. I disagree with you. I think that is part of the confusing part of it is, should we pay 9.5? And if they get Bowen Byram, are they worse or better?
Well, you assume they're moving Rasmus if they get Bowen, right? Or should we not go that far?
I think both can happen. I don't know that it happens.
Like you're better if you keep Rasmus and add Bowen for sure. But if you move out Rasmus and bring in Bowen, I'd suggest you might take a half step back, or you'd be about the same.
Yeah, I feel like that's still very much contingent on what are we getting in trade. I think that's a deal that happens regardless. Now Bowen Byram's not coming to Calgary, it seems, unless there's some kind of a weird trade. But
well, no, I think this does push a trade forward.
I don't think that says, well, we're hanging on to Rasmus now. I feel like that's in its own little pocket.
Sure, but he's saying, are you better or worse? And I'm saying Rasmus here or not, it's a big factor. Bowen's a good defenseman.
Yeah, there is the should you have signed this guy, and then there is the what are you doing? If the other thing you're doing is if you're gonna offer sheet a guy and okay, well, you're paying a lot of money, and it looks like you're also giving up a first-round pick
in the McKenna draft class,
which suggests you're not.
Exactly.
Whereas to me, I would be less worried about the player and the term and the dollar, which is risky, of course, but you want that first-round pick?
Bird in hand or two in the bush.
Maybe maybe the year you don't want to trade that first.
Next 2 years, I'd say don't do it. Yeah.
Right, but you know.
But that's the art. And it's not we're not right or wrong, but this is just
these are the discussions
thought that where it's like, well,
and
they're going after Byram, and they didn't. So maybe that was the calculation. We're talking about rumors that they were going to offer sheet him, and they didn't. Well,
and again, they could still trade for Byram today. I don't think this closes the door at all.
I would rather
it closes the door to the offer sheet. But when you look at what Carolina gave the Rangers for Keandre Miller, it was almost exactly what the offer sheet was. And they just said, hey, look, we're going to offer sheet you or. And the Rangers like, yeah, we're not willing to commit long-term to this guy. And if you were going to offer sheet us, let's just make the trade. That can still happen here. So maybe you can find a way to get Vegas's first and a roster player to Buffalo and keep your own first, which would allow you A, either to offer sheet other people, or B, have your own lottery ticket in the McKenna sweepstakes. All these things can still happen. You can kind of thread the needle still.
It's interesting, too, that this, again, maybe I just kind of looking at signals and reading. This isn't a Byram-specific thing because Drager also told us Keandre Miller was a guy that the Flames were looking at doing an offer sheet as well. Yeah. So they're looking at young D to come in and play right now.
Yeah.
As opposed to sitting and acquiring more draft picks. I mean, a young asset would be a young defenseman, I guess, but.
And you're probably collecting young assets if you trade Rasmus, I'd think, right? So I sort of like where we disagree here is if you're going to commit 8 years to a 23-year-old or you're going to select an 18-year-old, you're marrying a player for like 8 to 10 years in both situations, and you're getting much younger at that position in both instances. Connie's just shaving off a couple of years of a guy coming through the system to get up and into the NHL. So if you're confident that Byram is a top pair guy, by all means, move a pick that you think could fall 8 to 20. It's just that what if he's actually a 4 that just puts up number on power play 2? Oh, shoot, we really should have kept that pick. That's the downside.
Yeah. You're also closer to knowing what the player is going to be. They're going to step in and play for you now.
That's the scary part.
In a lot of ways,
23, we still don't really know, right?
24.
He's an NHLer. I mean,
you're acting
like he's going to fall out of the league.
No, I'm not acting like that at all. There's no chance he falls out of the league. Don't put those words in my mouth. I wonder whether he's a 4-5 or a 1-2, or like where in there.
Because 23 minutes a night.
On a really bad team with
not
bad
on
results.
A bad decor though. And how? Okay, are the Flames really like the Sabres were not? I mean, they went on a run at the end. They aren't that bad. Like you're saying, it's not San Jose, and there's only one. Like, and he's playing with no other defenseman. You're kind of making it seem like the Sabres are, and they are not the pinnacle of the NHL. 14 years in a row without a playoff spot. Yes. But they weren't the bottom of the barrel.
No,
like they drafted what 9th, 10th. Like,
yeah, it's. I think they're the worst run team in the league. So I don't know how I can trust
that
their
doesn't
players are what they look like there. That's all.
Even in Colorado, his first full season there, he was averaging over just under 19 minutes a night. 22-23 season with Colorado in that 22 minutes a night, 20 minutes. Like he's a
20+ minute night of defenseman. That's
clearly. But is that worth $9 million to you?
I don't know.
That's the question.
And so that's
what's
where
Rasmus Anderson's. I mean,
like
we're all excited because Rasmus Anderson has made 4.5. So we're like, he should.
What a deal!
He should make 5, or you watch Weegar. Well, when Weegar first signed, it was too much. He was terrible, and he's really good now. Right?
Yeah, he had a tough 6 months here to start, but based on his prior 2 years, that extension was fine. 6.25 or whatever. Yeah, for a top pair guy.
He wasn't a top.
He was. He played with Ekblad every night for 2 years.
Again, Ryan. The point being, if I go play with.
Well, we've talked about this with Miramanov. You talked about him playing top 4 minutes.
Convenient for you to say, oh, he's a top pair. Well, no, he was the guy that played with the best defenseman. Like I could play with Victor Hedman and be the top team.
If Draisaitl is on the second line, is he a second line guy?
And
is he a middle six?
I'm not saying that, but like,
yes, you are.
What I'm not saying because he played with Ekblad, he was a top pair defenseman. What I'm saying is when you look at the minutes that he played, the role, the chances for and against when he's on the ice, he was one of their best guys.
He had nothing to do
Okay,
with
so then so is Bowen Byram. If you're looking at the minutes played, then he's a top.
He's the number 3 guy in Buffalo. Yeah.
No, he's not.
Okay, so
He played more than Power. He played more. Like he and Dahlin had basically the same amount. Dahlin 24 minutes, 24-14. Byron 22-42.
And so then what I would do next is say, who's eating the tougher matchups? What are they doing on special teams? What's the offense creation? Are you saying he's as good as Rasmus Dahlin?
No, I'm saying I'm just poking holes in your.
I just think you guys are underselling what Uyghur was when he was in Florida.
Nothing to do with Uyghur. It's you taking a stance on things that. Well, I'll say it on this hand. For this guy, it works for him. But if we say it, we just talked about he's not a top pairing. He plays 23 minutes a night. How many fives play 23 minutes a night?
I mean, look, his minutes aren't terribly off what Kevin Ball played, a couple minutes. He's obviously a 4, right? Like it's just, he might be a second pair guy. He might be a first pair guy. He better not be a third pair guy. I don't think you pay second pair guys that kind of money and give up a first in the McKenna year.
I don't listen.
You're projecting.
I agree. I don't. I'm not sitting here being like, damn, they missed out.
I think he'd be a good player to go and take a stab at.
He'd be the best left shot on the team if he came here. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Ball stay at home. He's offense. You'd separate those two. It's a nice young piece. I just don't feel like I know what he is yet in a way.
To me, I'm less worried about that. It's just you're giving up picks, term, and dollars.
Yeah.
Can we make a trade where maybe there's a contract or something we can somewhere to soften the acquisition cost, the blow of that
cost of doing business? If you're going after a player, like what do you? I mean,
yeah, like if he's a UFA, come on in. Here's your 7 years, which would be 6 soon, whatever.
Okay, stop. You're right. But again, I think they have to operate differently.
They probably do, yeah.
They're not getting him probably.
They're not there yet, yeah. I mean, you have to be a competitive team to win guys in free agency. What we saw over the last 2 weeks, guys are going to teams that are good. And if they're not, they're making money that's not good. Like Cody Ceci, way too much dough. Team's not bad. I shouldn't use that as an example. But none of these teams with all this cap space.
A defenseman that they couldn't get anything else, and so they were like, "We're going to pay you."
Bad example, but my point being, just having cap space isn't enough to get guys in free agency. They want to go to winners. You're not a winner yet, so I agree. If you try to get Bowen and UFA, he's going somewhere else. He'll go to St. Louis before here. They look like a much better team right now. Of just the two,
and they have to do well. They don't have to do anything. I thought that about Miller, Andre Miller, when he was. I'm like, well. And it sounds like they were.
Yeah.
So it's obviously they've recognized it.
They need left shot young D.
Yeah. Weird.
And they have to go about business a little differently. Even with an offer sheet, the player's having to sign on.
You're paying more to come here.
You're probably having to pay more, which then ramps up that price that you're paying for picks. You got to have all your own picks to do it and all of that. I do wonder.
And you're better at this. So play this out. So you can't go get Bowen Byram.
Yeah,
you can't get him in free agency.
Okay.
You can get him in a trade.
You can go get him today in trade.
Right? Like, how do you manage these assets? Because if you go trade for him, he's still at some point going to have the right. And if you're not overpaying him, because they're still not good.
He's going to get paid like a top pair defenseman,
right?
or he's not
coming. You know what I mean? Like, does it change anything if you trade for him? Like, and how?
So if I was trying to add Bowen Byram and I was confident he'd be a top pair guy, I'm willing to pay him that 7 to 9 if I believe that that's the outcome. I'm not quite there yet. The Flames might be. They know more than me about this stuff. They obviously have a data department. They've got all the video. They've scouted him a ton.
That's for common market, not Calgary.
No, he's not asked for a trade. You can trade for his rights. He does not have no mood protection.
I know, but you're saying between 7 and 9, if the Flames were comfortable, and we're
and if you're close to signing an offer sheet,
is 9 the number? Because it's Calgary. That's what I'm asking you, I guess. Are we if you trade for him and the trades whatever it is, and they get Bowen Byram, and now he's here to keep him? Are you not overpaying anyway to keep him?
I think the deal is inclusive of an extension.
But why would the extension be less than what he would want to sign on an offer sheet?
It's not going to be. It's going to be whatever their close offer sheet was. That's going to be the dollar.
So the money's not going to matter no matter what you do to go get.
Well, we just said at the beginning, a first, a second, and a third is 7.02 to 9.3, I think I said. Yeah. So that's the range. And if that's a range you're comfortable operating in and you're close to signing an offer sheet, you have essentially agreed to terms with the player. Otherwise, you're not close to signing an offer sheet. If the player that says that's not enough money, you're not close to signing an offer sheet. You can be interested in offer sheeting a guy, but if you're trying to give him 7, he wants 9, you're not close. Dean's saying they're close, so that tells me that Byram's camp and the Flames weren't far apart on money. And then if I'm the Flames trying to get him, I'm doing anything I can to try to get Vegas's first out and keep mine, given that it's the McKenna year.
Or they weren't. They were fine with the price of acquisition for a offer sheet. It was
Byram going.
dollars and term where things fell apart.
Yeah.
So they maybe were not close on money. Maybe that was maybe the thing that knocked it down.
The thing that scares me the most about him is that A, I'm not quite sure what he is, which doesn't mean he can't be a good player. B, the acquisition cost is very high. And C, the salary demand is very high. He's asking for money he has not yet earned in this league. He could be a value deal, but he's not a $7 to $9 million dollar defenseman.
He can't be a value deal because he's asking to be paid to be the guy that he expects to be.
And so that's why I find this really challenging for the Flames, because you're not going to get value on the contract. You're not going to get value on the acquisition cost. And the guy has to be better than he's ever looked in the league.
But is that the price of doing business in the city of Calgary if you're the Flames? That you do not get value deals very often.
I think it is right now.
And that's why I think they didn't do the business, because I think they're comfortable to use that first and find a really good player next year.
There's a lot of teams where you can point and say, okay, that's going to be a popular and attractive destination because of this or that. Taxes, star player, team close to winning,
success,
all of that. There's nothing here right now. And it sounds shitty to say, but there's no reason for someone to say, yeah, I like the Flames for this.
Yeah, they have to give him the money that most contenders are like, that's too rich.
Yeah. Because they're not close to winning. There is no superstar. All due respect to Wolf, maybe he is, but
there's no skating
in terms of a position player. There's no star here. The rink, yes, the rink is coming, but there's a lot of nice rinks in the world. The tax situation is whatever it is.
It's okay. It's not bad.
Yeah, unless
awesome.
It would have to be seemingly some kind of either you're getting a lot of money that you can't get elsewhere, or your family's here. There's some other reason why Calgary would be attracted to you, because
and he's got Western Canadian roots. So
it's got to be hard right now. Harder than it's ever been, and it can change in a hurry, but it's got to be as hard as ever for Craig Conroy and the Flames to call up an agent and a player who's a free agent and say, hey, we've got a package here. Would you like to hear what we've got to offer?
And I think they probably, before they got circled back on Hanley, I'm sure they tried to find a better left shot option in the top 4.
Well,
but
you said LA earlier. It's kind of, I'm like, LA's getting stuck doing it. You would think that would be a preferable place.
Yeah.
Rasmus Anderson saying, I don't mind going to LA, but I'm not signing a extension. And so they've had to go offer Cody Ceci a contract.
Brian Dumoulin. $9 million between the two of them. That could have been one Rasmus Anderson. You'd be so much better with one Rasmus Anderson than that third pair. Gross.
Yeah. The other thing too is every situation's so unique, and it's hard to kind of say, well, look, this is what the Flames should have done, or this is what they absolutely shouldn't have done. But Montreal, they're sitting there.
God, they've done it good.
This the D-man that they traded the 2 first for,
Noah
Dobson. It's like, okay, well, we get a chance to get this guy. We're giving up. Yep, do it. All right, so that's done. So we're stronger in the back end. What do we? St. Louis. Well, we've got this Bull Duke, Mayu. Okay, boom, boom. He was just a first-round pick. Those are big, heavy swings, really, by both sides. Even for St. Louis, that's a first-round guy that came in and played pretty well for you in limited minutes. Yeah, we're going to trade him and bring in the defenseman. Montreal, they shift on the fly. I wonder to a certain extent how overly in love the Flames get with their own guys.
Everyone.
Because what have we said? They got so many wingers, got lots of wingers. Trade one of them.
I say it all the time.
Trade one find a young D, find a whatever. Is there not a deal somewhere in the league where there's a younger defenseman?
Connor Zary for a young D, I think.
Where you feel like maybe
go through their wingers and see who, like, you can trade everyone, but what is your return for?
Yeah, so you can't trade Huberdeau. You're married to him. You just inked Coronado to a long-term extension. You're not trading him. He might be the close to most untradeable outside of Wolf on this roster. Coleman's got 2 years left. That sounds like a really nice deadline acquisition for a contender. Connor Zary and the team don't have a deal.
But it's okay.
But he's a good young player. I don't know that most teams in the league have a guy like him. He's a half point per game. We think there's more there, but what he's shown so far isn't anything terribly unique or special. He's a middle 6 winger at this point. Joel Farabee makes too much money to trade without, you can't expect anything back. Sharon Govich, which one are we talking about? The 30-goal guy is valuable. What we saw for most of last year is not. And then it's like, yeah, Lomberg and Klopka, fourth-line bangers. There's your wingers.
It just feels like, and obviously that's the status right now. Could you have moved Pelche earlier? We hear a lot of, well, they wouldn't have included this player in a trade.
I think they wanted Frost and they got Frost. I don't think like they didn't even qualify Pelche.
Further to your point, what you started this conversation, yes, you overvalue. You
like Valimaki, you couldn't put Valimaki in deals because he was going to be the guy,
and then he's on waivers.
I think he still could have been the guy, just that he blew his knee out in training, right?
They mismanaged that.
That one's hard. There were injuries for sure, but there was times when he was still healthy where the Mark Stone
ask
deals,
a realtor, call your boy Newman, because that's how I compare it. If you ask a realtor, they'll say, well, people are idiots because they think their house
is very special,
is the greatest house ever. And that's what we think about our players.
Dirk Newman does not think your house is stupid, for the record.
No, he thinks you're stupid.
Yeah, he thinks you're dumb.
Yeah, look, I think everyone does. But the thing about Montreal that isn't a good comparable for Calgary is they've been very, very patient and measured and picked in the top 10 a bunch in the last 5 years. And so now is a really, really smart time to push chips in. I'm less convinced now is a really good time for the Flames to start pushing first in for roster players.
They moved Pat Shreddy. They got Suzuki back. They
picked first overall.
Demidov. Reinbacher wasn't necessarily the guy you wanted. It could have been Mishkov, but on and on. Slavkovsky, first overall. They've been rebuilding, and now they're getting better.
And throw a Stanley Cup.
They also had a Stanley Cup final appearance in there. They picked first overall.
They've been building towards this. They have a good system. They have the second best system in the league per Byron Bader and a bunch of other people.
Right. But I'm not saying.
So now it makes sense to take two firsts and move
all I was saying is the situation arose where that's a massive pivot. It's a huge 2 firsts out, player in, sign him long-term, done. Okay. This player, but we need a forward. Don't need an extra D. Done. But boy, we took him in the first round. Do it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like and there may not, it's opportunity. And yes, it's all contingent on what talent you have. But there have probably been some guys that were drafted early. But we took him. It's our guy. We took him early. A lot of them end up dying on the vine. And I worry a little bit that we see it too often around here.
Oh, yeah. They've only been rebuilding for a year and a half. Really, until they moved Elias Lindholm and Hanifin.
You don't have to rebuild to have assets.
It's just
I just think it was very
recognizing. It doesn't have to be a direct comparison to Montreal. I think the point of it is how many assets does the team really have? We couldn't go get what we 100% needed, and I think, anyway, in my opinion, Dylan Cousins. He didn't have the assets to do it. And maybe Rasmus Anderson was an asset that might have been, and he would have had Buffalo on the no-fly zone. But what are the assets that you can go and improve your team with?
I think what they're doing is very smart. But again, when Logan Mailloux is NHL ready and you're full, that's when these deals are much easier to make because they've drafted Elaine Hudson and they've done well with some other guys. I mean, that's been a good young D for a long time. They traded away Jordan Harris. They let Romanov go.
All I was saying is just the philosophy of, and just how well do you know what you got? Are you too in love with what you got? Are you maybe kind of skating? It'll come around. It's fun. Do you ignore some things?
I don't know that they don't know what. It's a weird way of saying it. I think they know what they've got, and it isn't that appealing. And hence, we can move guys, but you're not going to be doing backflips for the return.
Yeah.
Right. It's not.
I think if you get to a spot where you have to move a Coleman or Kadri, you'll do fine. But they're clearly not there yet if they're going to bring Rasmus back to camp, which seems like a reasonable outcome at this point.
I don't know how you don't know. And I don't.
If it's just for the sake of the best return,
they have to kind of play hardball.
Bring him back. You saying
they have to now, don't they? What do you do?
I mean,
everyone else in the league's going home.
Elliott had some different reporting in the last 48 hours than what we'd heard. Last we'd all gathered. Pierre LeBrun had the piece that said there was only one place Rasmus is willing to extend. Elliott said that's inconsistent with what he's heard. It's not 10, but
it probably got out.
One.
It probably was that. And now
so,
Rasmus is backpedaling, which is fine.
And the point is it's fluid. And that
LeBron didn't say it was the only place he would go, to be fair. He said he said he'd go to Vegas. He didn't say that's the only place Rasmus Anderson.
So I don't want to mess up Pierre's reporting. The takeaway a lot of people had was that Rasmus had given the Flames one team he'd extend with.
The Hannafin.
And Hannafin had said that about Tampa, and he ended up extending in Vegas. So things change. But Elliott's reporting was that there is a smaller list that the team and the player are both comfy with. And so the question is, can you get a deal done with those, say, 3 to 5 teams? Or do you wait into the season and all of a sudden teams are good in the standings, teams are bad, and everything changes because you're going to just send him to a contender that's going to pay a lot for him, and he's going to be happy going to a contender.
So it's a calculated thing for Conroy to go, okay, am I better off just waiting? He knows the offers that are out there, would he not?
He knows them now. He doesn't know what they're going to be at the deadline. So that's
just it. He's looking at it going, and so it's two things. Either it's exactly what Boom said. Conroy thinks Anderson's better than what the offers are.
Or he'd have the deal done. Yeah. Or I can get a really good deal for him in Ottawa, Columbus, and Buffalo, but those are teams he's not going to extend with or go to at all.
That's the other part of the rub, is if you can get him, if he's good with it and would sign an extension, you'll get more. So now it's okay.
But
let's try and get the most we can.
This frustrates me to no ends, because for years we're told, okay,
we're doing this
short-term contract. We can trade him at the deadline. There's no money. These teams can bring him into the cap space fits. That's max value. And now it's all flipped where you better sign him an extension to be able to move him.
No, I don't think the extension.
Do you know what I mean?
He's not signing an extension unless he's staying here. That ship sailed. If he's signing here, he's the
point I'm making is that is not the biggest appeal was that he's cheap and any team can add him in, and he's.
If you moved him to the deadline, like I was lobbying all year, there's no talk about an extension.
But
you can
now
trade
last year. It's kind of coming around.
Now it's all extension talk.
But it's only if you want to include an extension. You don't need to. That you can fucking trade him.
Yep.
Just don't go and ask him to sign.
Yeah.
Hey, we'd get more out of Columbus if you'd sign long term. But I don't want to sign in Columbus.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Fuck it. We'll take less. We're trading you to Columbus. Okay, well, shit.
But I thought there was always, in the past, it was always about being able to not have a long-term contract. We're going to add them because it's easy money to add, and there is no, right?
Well, I mean, the cap's growing. So the whole idea of like the low salary, he can fit everywhere. It's helpful, but it's not as helpful as it would have been 2 years ago or at last year's deadline. And again, you can't talk extension with Rasmus last March when the deadline was. It's a non-event. And so now it's not worrying about Rasmus's list. He's not going to these 6 places. The rest of the league's your oyster. You're selling 2 playoff runs. He's well under market value. He's a right shot defenseman, which are always shorter in supply. That was the time to move him.
But we're too close to a playoff spot, and I can't send that message.
Look, we were all sucked in at different times, but I mean, again, if they're so excited about being the 8 seed, you're just never going to be great. You can certainly get in. It's possible, but you're never going to win cups.
And if you do, it's I
don't know. I still kind of have faith that
I think they
that I have confidence
they would have the same
that they know what a good deal is and what is a bad deal. What is a good return? And 2 years ago, if the return isn't good, there's no gun to your head to do it.
What do you think?
Do you know what I mean? Like if
2 months ago,
if at 2 years, you have 2 playoff runs and you look at us,
dude, March was 2 playoff runs.
It's just, do you believe worth more than this?
Do you believe that if probably everything's different. It's so hypothetical, this conversation, but if the Flames are 12 points back last March or whenever the trade,
they're trading them.
There would be more teams probably calling on him.
And you're
not right. Like,
oh, for sure.
Connie didn't want his name out there.
If
Connie,
if
waiting
they
for
were
the team to fall out
close,
of it. Yeah.
Do you think they would have kept him or traded him?
I think that when you're
of course it matters what the return is, but we don't know that now either. Like, I think they would have traded him.
I'd love to give Connie the truth serum and just be like,
I think if they had 4,
you weren't shopping him, but what were the calls like in March? Because you weren't shopping him.
I was thinking about this, and when have the Flames been in that scenario where we're a little bit out or we're a little bit in and we're getting close and it's the trade deadline, but we're going to trade somebody who's a free agent that we're probably going to lose, but we still... Was it Curtis Glencross?
To Washington. They were in the playoffs. They made it that year, and they sold him at the deadline, and they did
still
really well.
Sold even though they were right in the teeth of it.
I think they got
And
a
he
second
was-
and a fourth, and they turned into some players. If
Yeah.
I'm correct.
He was a guy because it's easier to trade when you're way out. But that was the one time that they traded a roster player who was contributing.
Yeah.
And we're in that playoff mix.
No, I think it was him and Hartley. It was clearly like we got to amend, get the situation cleaned up. But yeah,
Either way, it was
They had the
needed
balls to
go.
do
Yeah.
it. They had the balls
did
to
it.
do it. But
Yeah.
this is the problem that I think it's like dating a chick that she's got other boyfriends. You're like, stop doing that.
yeah.
The Flames have not managed assets well over the last 8 to 10 years. They just haven't. Have they? Like, so
No.
you trade Glenn Cross when you're in a playoff spot and he's not the same player, but you won't trade Giordano when you know effing well he's leaving. Like, you're going to have to make, like,
Yeah.
right? Monahan. Well, so the asset management hasn't been
Johnny,
good.
Kachuk,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yeah, they've had some good ones. but
Balamaki.
there's-
Those have all been guys that were.
Valamaki's not an
But
issue.
he was a first. Listen,
It was an issue. It's easy to pass
He
off
was
now because he
broken
has
when he
not
left.
turned into anything.
Yeah.
There was a time where you said, I said, he said, everyone thought he's the number one defense.
Yeah, I thought he'd be the next captain of the team. And
There
then
was
that
a-
summer he
so
went and
yeah,
ruined
you
his
can't
life.
just
Never
pass it
skated
off
himself.
as
it's maybe to a lesser extent, but they read it wrong. There was a trade that could have been done that would have involved him, and they passed on it because they thought highly of him.
And look, maybe he would have become a star.
He may have,
We don't know.
but it's
but that's asset management.
Yeah, agreed. Look, the Gio and the Monahan ones are huge fails, but you look at like Glenn Cross is a nice example of reading the room and making a really savvy play.
But that's minor. I
Sven
don't think
Berchi,
that
they
was-
turned into like a second that's a player. I think it was either Rasmus or Dubé. Like they've done some good trades, but
Sven
I
was also
generally
a what?
he was a scrub at that point, but he was a first rounder.
yeah, like they had absolutely exhausted
Why
any
is-
notion that he was going to be a first round talent.
No, a player at all.
He
And
was
the
done.
only reason they got anything for him, and only once he wanted it, was because Weisbrod was in
Yeah.
Vancouver at that point, and he loves Sven from his Calgary days.
Yeah.
They extorted the Canucks on that one.
I know you're
So-
trying to spin that they've had good. I just
It's a mixed bag, but
they've
I
had
agree.
common sense stuff that's worked out okay.
The Gio
but they
one's
haven't
insane.
done things correctly with obvious moves.
Yeah, I agree. And I think like the Hamonic one was such an awful reach. Like that's Noah Dobson.
Well,
That's the guy we're talking
just
about.
it.
That's
If
the
you went
pick.
back to some of the stuff where because sometimes you go back, you're like, well, at the time, Valimaki, at the time he was going to be a number one. Well, okay, maybe wrong, but there are obvious ones.
Gio was so obvious.
Exactly.
Monahan, just LTIR him if he says that's fine.
Exactly. If he can't, LTIR.
Yeah, like what's the problem there? And maybe the problem there is that the GM wants to do that, and the owner's like, "Well, I'm not spending $7 million more."
The problem
cap."
there
you
that
don't know.
GM was in the last year of his contract, and he was going all in, come hell or high water.
Could have done that on LTIR though, right? Unless the
Well,
owner
no,
says
because
I'm
he
not.
wanted Kadri, and if
No, but if you LTIR him, there's your money for
but
Kadri.
I don't know how that works.
Either way,
Well, there's your effing hockey talk.
yeah, I
Putts.
preferred potatoes myself. Anyway,
So the Flames are the same team. And
They're the same team. They're coming back.
yeah, do we have that depth
Jeez,
chart? Can we show
It's I got it right here. Yeah.
the up to date
Fourth line of Lomberg, Pospisil, and Klapka. Go
I don't
Devils.
mind the fourth line. That's fine. Play with energy. Let's go.
Origin, our buddies at Origin Brewing. I saw Dane at Bull Bustin' last week.
Yeah,
He was in one.
they're not afraid.
Oh yeah. It's like we better keep this guy away from the Bulls because he's about 90 seconds away.
He
from
thinks he's a
crawling on top
rodeo
of one.
clown
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
he's a clown, all right. Origin Brewing, they got their pancake breakfast. We love pancakes. How many did you have? 14?
14.
Unbelievable. It's well done. Origin, saddle up,
Partner.
July 11th. That's just mere days from now. 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. 943 28th Street Northeast. That's the location of the new OC. Origin Calgary. They've got a little it's not little. They've got the whole, they got tanks and they got brewing and they're canning and they're firing beers
Oh, I
and
thought you
everything
meant
out of
like
there.
Tanks, like military.
No.
You can get tanked there. I know
Yeah.
that.
You think they're gonna have Big Mark working the pancakes? How do you like your pancakes? Over easy. 10 till 2, July 11th, 943 28th Street Northeast in our fine city. Origin Brewing doing their pancake breakfast.
Keep sending us the photos too. Lloydminster, Saskatchewan. We had some barn burners show up. Listeners are out there. They
Saw
like the
that.
blonde. They like the
Barn burner
blonde.
Are
blondes.
you sure it was Saskatchewan?
Well, they said it was. I was assuming it'd be Alberta, but it was
It's tough.
specifically.
Yeah.
I want to have
Brett found in Lloydminster, Saskatchewan, and he's got some blondes.
Ah, boy,
Looks
Brett.
like he's camping. He's got on the RVs in the background. Looks like a nice river runs by. Beautiful stuff.
Attaboy. How does that work up there with the?
Is it right down Main Street, or how do they
Lloyd?
do it?
I don't know, but it's gonna be real weird.
Because
when
like
we
there's
become
provincial
America.
tax. Why would you ever live on the one side?
And
or
what
the-
happens if we become America? Like,
America.
Here's the thing,
What
wait,
if we get bought by Trump?
what if you're 18? You just cross through downtown. Now
Oh,
you're legal in
baby.
Alberta.
Is that it?
Can't
Is that
drink
how
on
it
this side.
works?
Can't drink there.
Rushing it, yes.
Found a Lloydminster.
My boy Brett.
Way to celebrate, buddy.
Well, it's a beautiful day out there, doesn't it?
Barn
That
burner
doesn't look
blondes.
like a river to me.
There's got to be something that rumbles down through that forest.
Origin. They got the what have they got? What are the
Seltzers?
They got those hard seltzers now.
Hmm.
They got, as we know, they've got the hard iced teas. Look out.
Iced tea season right now.
And new to Origin, cherry key lime. You love a good key lime
Oh,
pie.
you're damn right.
Cherry key lime, tropical mango, and watermelon.
Thirsty.
Also with the the OC, they've got O-Dogs. Nathan's Hot Dogs. Jack, you want to go have some hot dogs? They got the brisket dog, the mac and cheese, chili cheese dog. So you go to the tap room, you sit down. Geez, I'm starving. I got some. Get on the menu. Get on it. O-Dogs.
Brisket dog. Be all right.
Yeah. I messaged Dreger to find out how Tiny was doing on the road trip. I haven't heard back.
Tiny's that huge. Yeah.
He's got a Great Dane. Tiny is a big, big dude. See, that the Tiny was kind of like,
Get it?
it's like tongue in cheek, kind of.
Oh,
Yeah.
Did you get
wow.
it? Did you get it?
Yeah.
Did you get it?
But yeah, he's very happy. Not many people are to drive to Manitoba and then just disappear
Off the grid.
off the grid. Him and his dog.
That's a good life.
Well, the more people I see, the closer I get to that.
Yeah, just kind of
Moving that way.
some solitude. Get out of the city, get
Kind of
away from
our
people.
Pre-show,
Just trade in all this for a dog.
kind of
and a
our
truck.
pre-show with Jack and our.
And of course, Dregs and Noodles. What how Noodles is doing? No hockey
Well,
talk.
I just want to say that I appreciate them texting me
Yeah,
and asking me to join them and come out with them while I was in town.
didn't happen. Oh,
Is he come and gone?
I don't know. How
He's
would I
just
know
telling
if
us.
he's here?
Well, he
Come or-
gave us the days. I just can't remember
He
them.
must have my old number.
he
I
was
guess.
must have. Yeah. Yeah.
You got to get that cheese.
Well, you've got that the blocker thing.
Oh,
with the,
yeah,
maybe
yeah,
it's
yeah.
maybe it's
This phone has call control. Please press 7.
those fellas join us on the Crystal Waters Plumbing and Heating Insider Hotline throughout the hockey season. We appreciate Crystal Waters. As it turns out, now again, this is kind of circuitous to get to this. So Crystal Waters Plumbing and Heating, the winner of our Bull Bustin' Christmas charity auction,
Mhm.
Sean, the owner
Come on.
of Crystal Waters Plumbing and Heating,
Good for him.
Yeah.
For the kids.
for the kids.
But he didn't win the
And the Bulls.
Calcutta.
He did not win the Calcutta.
No, I can't have it all.
That's too bad.
Yeah, but you know what? He's one of life's winners.
Seems.
He's one of life's big winners. He's a good boy. And how's the AC working?
It's AC season. Get a deal.
Delicious. 10% off a new air conditioner, 1 year of free preventative maintenance. Crystal Waters Plumbing and Heating, crystalclearcalgary.com is the website.
I'm not sure if you did it, but you should have because it's hot today.
Yep.
Today's the day.
And you know what it is? It doesn't even, once it gets hot and the temperature in your house gets to that certain point, you'll kind of hang there. Even if it's not as hot today, but boy, the house is still hot.
Yeah, it is, eh?
Sure is.
Let's press that button.
Well, we do the Pinder Report.
Huh?
How do you think this is going to go? Good.
Quickly, hopefully.
Yeah, actually, pretty tidy today.
The demo inventory clear out is on. Savings of up to $4,000. You've been wheeling and dealing with Village Honda. How's it going? What's the latest update? What's the status?
Lots of chatter. Lots
Yeah.
of chatter back and forth.
Yeah.
Real excited about this insurance stuff.
Oh yeah,
Because I hear what do they do? The first time new drivers, they give you a deal, right?
yeah. The younger you are,
Sign up
the better
It's
for
like,
it
look, you're brand new at this. We're going to give you a break. Just try to get your business.
yeah, we're just dying to get you behind the wheel.
Love you getting business with you.
Yeah.
sign a 5-year commitment with us. And
5 years. Hey, oh, ha, hey, whoa.
Village Honda, located in the Northwest Auto Mall, online villagehonda.com. They're your dealership for life, and they present the Pinder Report.
Fellas, let's get to FlamesNation.ca, where we are always
Still writing.
reading what the writers write.
Unbelievable.
Lots going on. This is a huge pike bomb. Wish we had the sound effect.
Oh,
Cole Rushing wants to make the NHL as soon as he can.
Wow.
Does
stunner.
not want to be late. You know what, guys? I think one more year in junior. You don't want no one more year at university. Nope. Exciting, good young player, very high on a lot of people's boards, and the Flames nabbed him at 18, and he is a center, making him immediately the number one center in their prospect cover. Please be great, son. We love you.
Could use
a
good news story here.
Could use.
Yeah.
Also at Flames Nation, we talked about Elliott's final podcast before he disappears for the summer that just dropped. There are some Flames tidbits. Not in a hurry to move Nazem Kadri. In fact, very happy with Nazem Kadri. If Nazem Kadri is requesting to leave, that's a different thing. He is not. Also, he gets into more details on the Rasmus Anderson situation and a few others. Pike's got it all summarized for you right on the website. So you don't have to listen to 2 hours.
Not a boy, Pike.
Not by Piker.
does your ankle twist like that, Dean? Like, could you get that?
Oh
low?
my God.
Good flexion, eh? Good flexion.
They would need to back the ambulance up onto the ice. Then they'd be scraping like the dirt from the tires. It's like, well, can't we just stretcher them? There's no chance.
Oof. That's just dangling there. No good. Ouch. Sorry, Dean. Sorry about your ankle.
Ow!
Byron Bader did his post-draft organizational prospect rankings. The Calgary Flames checked in at number 8. He'll be joining the show on Thursday to get in more detail about it. He particularly loved the Reshny selection and had him in his top 10. More on Thursday. So look forward to that on the next episode of Bar and Birder.
Byron Bader.
Second year in a row. He's been very, very, very
Yeah.
about the Flames drafts.
Yeah.
Like, it's been very
positive.
Yeah.
Amongst the top 2 or 3 teams both summers for the haul they got as compared to what you'd expect to get at those draft slots. Nikolai Ehlers has a new home. He went to Carolina. We knew the Canes had some money to spend. They found someone to take it. Ehlers, 6 years. Money wasn't crazy. Did you have the...
No,
Yeah, okay. Well, there you go.
I'm not doing the Pinder Report.
That is fair.
If I was, I'd have it.
That's actually probably accurate. But they were obviously connected with Mitch Marner a ton. Keandre Miller added and paid immediately. And they got the top free agent left after what, July 2, July 1. Everyone was waiting on Ehlers.
Oh, what the hell? He was taking his time for
8.5 a year. 6
8.5
years.
a year. It sounded like, okay, that's tax-friendly Carolina.
Yeah, like I do wonder, as much as, I have no idea who might be coming through on July 1 with an offer. You knew. You knew you weren't going to Winnipeg.
Yeah.
And if everybody else is hearing Carolina, I assume he's got Twitter.
They seem
Be
like
like,
the favorites. Yeah.
Babe, what do you think about Carolina? The term and the dollars, you could probably ballpark that. What do you... I'm going to take an extra day or two here just to...
The
maybe
money's
he's an
not the interesting part.
attention seeker, maybe.
He's 29
6
and he
years?
took a 6-year deal.
That's what I.
And so are you very confident that you, who've been through a lot of injuries, is going to ink a new deal? And
You who?
Maybe that's all he wants. Maybe,
Or it's just, hey,
maybe
happiness
he's
is it, and that's what it took.
When I turn 35, guess what I'm doing?
not playing hockey, retire.
Yeah.
He'll turn 30 in February.
8.5 be damned.
Well, remember, it was like Regier.
Yes.
You know what? We'd give you a 2-year deal.
F off.
You know what?
It's kinda
I'm going
what
to take 1 year because I don't think I'm playing.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
Reggie.
geez,
Really?
That's smart. huh?
Okay.
Should have been his agent, eh? You would have got him another year. Like, Reg, we're just going to LTIR that. You're going to get the money anyway.
Dude,
You're going to be at the lake
money
anyway.
and they
Give
don't
it to
suck,
me
right?
if you don't want it.
Yeah, I'll take the money.
What are you thinking?
Gavin McKenna will be playing for the Penn State and Nittany Lions next season, NCAA. That is the top 2 players expected to go off the draft board next summer, both leaving the WHL. As the defenseman Verhoff out of Victoria is already committed to NCAA. The rumored money, I've heard anywhere between $250,000 to $700,000 American dollars in NIL. That hasn't been made public yet, but it's a ton of money. And we talked about it on the show. What do you do if you're Medicine Hat? Well, you had 2 good years. He's gone now. We're banking on 3, I'm guessing. Draft you'll be number 1
You
this
should dig
summer.
into this and figure out what that league's going to do because they're losing a
Star
lot of
players.
Star players. There's another kid that was drafted to Columbus, 14th overall, Smith. He's going to Penn State too.
Lindstrom went 4th last year, and he went to Michigan State, I believe. Like it's been quite an exodus of drafted or draft eligible players to NCAA. The landscape of player development is changing big time. We do have to say goodbye to an old friend.
Oh, yeah?
Old friend. Look at this. Tyler Johnson. Remember our boy?
I do.
What do you remember about Tyler Johnson?
He was a dirtbag.
Was he?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see if we can verify.
Yeah, I mean, a good boy.
Okay. Well, let's see here.
Impressive thing I've ever done? I don't know. Cheat on my boyfriend, not have him find out.
You know, this is a television camera,
Yeah, it's an old boyfriend.
but he's finding out right now.
No, it's an old boyfriend, not the one I'm with now.
So, but the boyfriend is finding out on television right now.
Oh, yeah,
You
that's
cheated on
fine.
him?
Sorry, Ben.
Why'd you cheat on him?
I don't know. The guy was a famous athlete.
Which famous athlete?
I can't say his name.
Give us his initials.
TJ,
What sport does he play?
hockey,
What team does he play for?
Florida, Tampa Bay.
Okay, so he plays for Tampa Bay. His initials are T and J. Tyler Johnson?
Okay, I have to go.
That was one of the great moments in late night television, and a sound drop that we celebrated for nearly a decade,
Yeah.
Dean.
Sweetie.
I have to go.
Sweetie, stop talking.
Just to shut your mouth.
Shush. Shush.
You.
Hush. Hush, little baby.
Less is more. Less is more. Calgary Surge are at the Scotiabank Saddledome tonight. It is Surge to the Stampede. Your
Nice.
ticket includes admission to the grounds. They're expecting a big crowd. They had second game ever at Saddledome. The first was the opener last year, 12,000 plus. And we've got Mike Morreale, the former CFL slot back, PA president, broadcaster, the commissioner of the CEBL, the basketball league, as well as its co-founder. He'll be joining us later in the program.
I just like the risks, taking some risks, right, and trying to do things differently. Calgary Surge have done a really good job at expanding out in the community, all 4 quadrants of the city, but even beyond that, going to Red Deer, obviously this year, playing in the Saddledome previously. And, it's not just a return to the Saddledome, but it's a return to the Saddledome during Stampede. So it's just different. It just, we want to be where people are and give them an opportunity to see what the CBL is all about, and certainly what the Surge is all about. So I expect a really good game against some really good teams.
He said that he's pals with Jesse Lumsden from his CFL days, and that he's going to ride shotgun with Lummer. So thoughts and prayers to Morreale this week.
Yeah, that's right. Don't turn your back. Watch your wallet.
Or
Jesse
just
Lumsden
don't
around.
expect to wait in line and
There's a name you don't need to hear every day.
love
No.
Lummer. What a beauty. Need to get him on.
Lumber.
7:30 start. And again, you can find the tickets on the Surge website or Ticketmaster.
Very nice.
Italian sandwich.
Oh.
Or Mexican.
How did you like the sandwich place you went to last week? Remember we were talking about? Yeah. We got to get Dino there. He's going to like that place.
What, today you're saying?
After the show?
Yeah.
That Italian marketplace with the
Mhm.
sandwiches?
Oh, yeah.
that's good
yeah,
too.
Yeah.
Or the burrito place?
17th.
I haven't done the burrito place. Burritos are not a recipe for me and productivity for the rest of the
Yeah,
day.
but you're going to the fast food place. This is a high quality.
Bison
right?
burrito, even.
Yes, bison.
Bison.
It's kind of like, remember when they wanted people to stop throwing rice at weddings because birds would eat them and then the rice would expand in their belly? I feel like burritos do that to me. If you got rice in there, it's like, oh,
Expand your belly. Go full screen, Jack, please.
what's happening? Oh my God, I'm going to explode. Well, you had a burrito,
You're
Tubby.
Liam Neeson in the new movie. Have you seen the
Stop.
trailer?
No.
Oh, what the guy from Airplane? He did all the dumb
Yeah. Naked Gun.
Naked Guns.
Yeah. Be careful.
Sorry.
Calgary FC's in action tonight. They've got a second leg of a Canadian Championship matchup with Vancouver FC. They win this, they're into the Final Four. It is a 7:30 start at Atco Field at Spruce Meadows.
Tonight?
Tonight.
What a night.
What a night. It's going to be nice and
Give me
hot.
tickets.
I'll talk to you. I can do that. Yeah. Be there tonight. Look at the odds. Cavs favored, minus 200.
Shit, yeah.
Hell yeah. America.
They win this. Now they go win tonight. If they do that, very good chance of drawing an MLS team here in August.
Messy.
Ah, no,
Let's go.
Canadian one, but yeah.
Messy. Finally.
Don't say Messi. Stop saying Messi.
Messi and Calgary.
Calgary Stampeders, we love them up for that incredible Stampede Bowl performance. They have got the Durs this week. A clash of Western Titans. Stamps at 3-0. Have the Riders lost yet, Rhett?
4-0.
Listen, love you, Stamps. But the Riders, Corey Mace, come on, what was talking?
Hey, you just want good football. That's what you want.
Just
And
hoping
this
the
is
best
going to be
team
one
wins.
hell of a game, and I'm going to be in Saskatchewan enjoying this.
Go to this game.
No,
You're
it's
not
not
going
close
to that
to.
game.
it's Regina.
Yeah. It is Regina.
I'm going to Regina.
For this game?
Are you excited about it?
I'm not going to the game.
Are you excited about it?
Go to that brewery that has the NHL
It's
94
not.
and the wrestling.
It's no.
Well, here's the thing. The reason I'm going, I'm happy about.
Another concert tour?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Final stop.
You're a nerd.
Final stop on the concert tour.
That's so amazing. I'm happy for you.
Why don't you go to a different concert?
No, he's a groupie. He's got his one concert. He
His
travels
show
around.
the other. Listen, he was at the Big Four
You know
Sunday
what?
night.
The amount of bullshit
Unbelievable.
money you wasted on this duster, you
Oh,
could have went to
not a
George
duster.
Strait and Chris Stapleton with the retro in the below.
Guy's a Grammy Award winner.
What's that mean? You suck up to producers. Way to go.
Not at all.
Just like you and Jack. Suck it up to Jack all the time. trying to get
Unbelievable show.
favorable.
Durs favored by 4.5.
Had to stand the
So,
whole night. It was at the Big Four standing. Oh my God.
That's the Friday night CFL
Wearing,
contest.
wearing cowboy boots.
He's
Bad
a star
choice.
playing at the Big Four.
Milk was a bad choice.
Milk was a bad
Oh my
choice.
God.
Why don't you? Maybe if you did the burrito with the milk, it'll
Had
balance.
to get there early because you're just gotta stand. And then you're standing and you continue to stand.
Sorry,
and
it's
then
the
the show's
Pinder
done. And
Report.
you're still standing. My feet.
I think it was a week ago. Dean said, "Go Yankees." The Jays have not lost since. It's
what
9
is
in a row.
happening with the Jays?
We're
They look
good,
good.
Dean.
What is
We the North.
happening?
It's all these young guys that are just supposed to be death guys. They're hitting the cover off the
You know
ball.
what? I think I was there in 2015. Just saying.
You probably were. Munenori Kawasaki, Bush Party, Bananas,
Words.
Words. That's Josh Donaldson too. That's been a while. You're right. Holy
That
moly.
jersey. You want it?
We'll revisit the Jays game. We get to bet 365
How's it
later
fit?
on.
Even with the food-free Sundays.
Medium.
Mondays.
Monday.
Finally, Jack, for you, as an American, you can stand, you can rise, you can put your hand on your heart, you can remove your hat,
Hey, you
because
love hot
here
dogs.
is Joey Chestnut at the Coney Island hot dog eating competition for Nathan's.
We're not going to get to the record, but 70 would be a remarkable feat. To achieve 70 again.
Watch him here in the last seconds. Joey's going to get it in. Boom.
This is just. I just can't watch it.
It's gross.
Oh, Jack, you stopped at what, 4.5, 5.5?
5.5. Yes.
And you had what?
odd.
You had like 3 hours, right?
Yeah, he just crushed 70 and
10 minutes.
wow.
It is odd. Like you see the number and you're like, okay, well,
It's a lot, yeah.
wow, where'd it go? And then if you put it on the table,
Oh, horrifying.
Well, yeah, imagine
Where are those going?
a platter comes out with 70 dogs on it.
Where are those going?
You could have a backyard
four
cookout
of
with all
us-
your friends and be like, well, we've got too many hot
Nah, I've
dogs.
had 2 already.
We've got
Thanks, Dean.
70. We have 12
who
people
brought
are
all the
coming.
hot dogs?
Oh, my God.
Puke it out. Get it out of you.
And you know what? The other thing is, too, is there a ticker that's showing them? Okay, so
Yeah.
number 2, they're at 46, 45, 44.
I feel like I'd have
That's
stopped.
tight.
I'm in the
race.
60s, high 50s. I can probably pace myself
He's
now.
a professional.
So he's basically almost double like the guy's chasing.
The other
him.
side of this is that there are professional eaters that are, and he's still.
He's the GOAT. Yeah.
Look at dude beside it. So why are you bothering?
Yeah. if
You're
you-
at 46.
because that's not Jack. That guy's not a quitter.
That's true. Yeah.
no one likes a quitter, Jack.
Jack, you think you get 3
But
down
apparently
in 10
there
minutes,
was
or-
a cheater at this.
Really?
Yes.
What's-
One guy got,
You got punted?
I don't know what he did.
Mm.
No bueno.
Remember that Kobayashi got accused of having some weird stomach surgery, just made a hole and they all fell out. I don't know. Shady business, guys. Shady business. One final piece of
Don't we all have
Stampede.
that?
Don't go full Jack. This is a trick that you do not want to replicate, friends. This is Stampede tent puddle water.
No.
Don't do this. Be better. Oh, no, sweetie. No. Ah.
There's no, that's not
Unnecessary.
dumb. Like,
Totally unnecessary, Jack.
stupid money's a thing. That's
That or a brick of butter? What would you do first?
brick of butter. Although if I got one of those straws, I'd drink it out of the straw.
Yeah, you'd have to filter it out.
Filter straw. Eh? Yeah, that doesn't look.
She's putting that in her mouth.
Be better, Calgary, and be safe, everyone. Happy Stampede. That's your Pinder Report for this Tuesday, July the 8th.
There you go. Village Honda, Northwest Auto Mall, online, villagehonda.com. Coming up in August, the 23rd, it is the 5th annual Honda and Acura Show and Shine. We got awards for Best in Show, Best Modified, Best Classic, People's Choice, Best Off-Make. And just it's a lovely day to come and hang out and look at some wonderful vehicles. I'm like a good old car show. The 5th annual, August 23rd. Online, you can sign up, get your vehicle registered. villagehonda.com.
Vehicle.
What is she thinking?
You're not. That's the booze thinking.
Boy, like, I've been hammered.
What's he thinking? Like, that guy's an ass.
Yeah, he's taking advantage
He's
of the
an ass
situation.
H.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
What's worse, that or the beer out of the boot?
no, the boot's fine.
The boot's fine. Yeah.
That's a rite of passage.
That's
The boot's fine? Or
Well, I mean, I've been some places the last 3 days. You don't want to be drinking the puddle water, and the boot's not great. At least you know what's been in the boot, and it's not next to an outhouse. Fair?
Yeah, you could get a real disease.
Oh,
And again, I don't blame her.
you want a tapeworm? What are you doing?
I don't blame her.
You blame the guy?
I think that guy's a real D-bag.
That's a Richard move. It is.
what was the date today? The 8th?
Something like
Yeah,
that.
That's the 8th. It's you get all your deals when you go shopping online today, Dean.
Right. No, I just want to I'm gonna send you something here, Jackie boy. Oh, Jackie boy.
Well, let's speed it up so I can go get.
By the
my
way, I kept saying the
sandwich.
Surge game's tonight. It's tomorrow night. I don't know
Jesus
what that's
Christ,
going
Ryan.
on. Jesus.
Well,
Tomorrow night.
actually,
When's the Pro-Am golf event?
That's a big deal.
Pro-Am?
It's
He doesn't- he doesn't
Oh my
even-
God.
Sorry. No, it was not a Pro-Am. That was just AMs all over.
Yeah,
That was the media hack event.
the media hack.
Hacks indeed, my friends.
Yeah. How's Greg from Bonton?
Great. Said very, very every day better. Every day better.
Attaboy.
Feeling good enough to tailgate. So very happy for him. Had the spread going. He's got his posse. Excited about the stamps.
I've been thinking a lot about Bonton lately. Just been thinking about him a lot,
Yeah, I get it. It's that time of year, man.
right?
I was close today, but it wasn't open or I'd have gone in.
What story did he tell? He's just like, yeah, Rhett always calls me. He's like, oh, you need me. And he's like, yeah, okay, what do you want? And then Rhett goes dark.
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, kind of Rhett does that to everyone and everything. So don't take it personally. He's like, no, I got it all figured out. I just immediately text his wife and we get the order done. And then I tell him, meat ready.
Yeah.
And Rhett comes and gets the meat.
Gotta have meat.
Yeah. Because any time of year is good Bonton time. But this is prime Bonton time. I'm due to put some steaks on the grill.
You know what I want to do? I want to get one of those open pit kind of fireplaces.
Yeah.
Like they do down in Argentina.
Oh,
Okay.
And do some grilling on it.
Jack, we're doing a
Jack,
show.
he's sick. Trying to do it.
Are you sneezing?
Are you sick?
I'm good.
Is that why you weren't out?
Good. Not
God.
sick.
one night
so
out,
rude.
he just folds like a
Sorry,
sheep tent.
Rhett, you were saying?
Argentinian barbecue, Jack.
Argentinian.
Yeah. So what are they? Is it?
And you can crank it. It's like on a
Yeah. Because I know Greg has those things for the pig roast.
the boxes.
like
Yeah,
the
but
boxes.
that's almost simple. You get
Yeah.
it heated up and ready. Throw it in
convenient
there.
and smart,
This is
Fancy.
apparently this is a real art form, and I think you and I
You're due.
we could do a show on it.
Okay.
As soon as you're back from Regina,
Just meet you in Buenos
It's
Aires.
gonna be a quick trip.
Jack,
Just in and out.
been to Buenos Aires.
Yeah.
picana. Yeah, the
Bonton meats.
Look at the picana. Picana.
I'll say this: June, the weather in June, Mother Nature owes us.
Yeah, it's coming today.
It's coming. Barbecue, grill, whatever you want to call it, whatever terminology
It's
you
too
use.
hot. You can't be outside. Just get a sunburn.
Bonton Meat Market. If you have people coming over, family, you're hosting something. Well, I'm going to go get a tray here and get a tray there, or you contact Bonton and say, I've got this many people coming. How much of this do I need? How much of that?
He will
well,
not give you 70 hot dogs.
Yeah, you're not
No,
coming away
I mean,
with
unless you
some
want it.
chestnut plate
No.
of gross hot dogs. Here's what we recommend: salads, desserts, different types of whatever it is. You go, you pick it up, and you're set. And it's the best. Bonton Meat Market, 24 consecutive years. Calgary and Southern Alberta's Consumer Choice Award winner.
It's a hell of a
28
run.
Crowfoot Circle in the Northwest.
24 years.
Yep. It should almost be like that hot dog eating contest. I
It
don't know
feels
why
like
anyone
he's won
even
it 24
bothers.
years in a row,
It's not bragging if it's true. 24 years. What are you laughing about?
I'm laughing. How many times have we seen some golf fights lately?
Dude, I saw that one this morning.
Did
I
you
sent
see
it to Boom.
this? An old Nick
Remember Nick
Tarnasky
Tarnasky?
tossed him right in the lake.
The Nick Tarnasky?
I sent this to you this morning. Did you not see this?
No, I saw
Oh
you
my
sent it, but I didn't.
Goodness. I didn't know if it was. It's
Yes.
The former.
This guy's
Oh, yeah.
mouthing off.
Nick's like, you don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. You're in the lake. Bang, 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 bang.
Oh,
Don't.
boy.
He's pumping himself
Yeah.
up here.
Yeah, I guess really.
Okay.
He wants
Oh.
it bad.
You
Bad
sure?
camera work.
It's not
Yeah.
gonna
Are
go
you
how
sure?
want it to go.
All
There
right,
you go.
Cool off, dummy.
And then he comes out and he wants more. Then he takes some rights and he wants more.
I blame the beer cart driver.
Mhm.
Clearly overserved.
Oh, he's gonna get drilled. Yeah, there's one.
One
There's
more.
two. That's a big Nick is a big
Big.
man.
That's also a pro tip. Once you've been thrown in the water
It's
hazard,
over.
you're done fighting.
Yes.
Just taking it now. This is awesome. Why didn't we play this?
We have it.
Yeah, like you're done. You're not
Do we want it?
you're not fighting
He's got
anymore.
his
I feel
ass
we have
hanging
to
out
now.
now.
Okay, we'll close the show.
I'm actually surprised he's not knocked out. Because Nick could hit you hard enough.
Yeah, he could.
Well, Nick
He's
didn't-
done it before.
Nick was saying, you don't want this, you don't want this, you don't want, and well, Nick was right.
No, what I was grabbing there is when I'm very sorry on my telephone because I know Greta's been swinging all week.
Oh,
Oh man.
are they tiring out yet?
They
you
are
think?
not tiring out.
No, they're Jack's age, but they're actually acting Jack's age.
This is
They're-
great. Look
they're
what they-
flooring it.
Look what they got. So today, Tuesday the 8th, open at 2, nice and early.
Oh baby.
Got the DJ Sam Hampton going tonight. Tomorrow, early open. Look on Thursday. The Morgan Wallen lookalike contest.
Oh my god.
$1,000 cash prize.
That's amazing.
So if you're unfamiliar with Morgan Wallen, he's got the mustache, the mullet.
I could have done that.
He's got a look.
I cut my hair too short.
They got the live band, the Frontiers, who are great.
Talon in the basement.
Talon is they got that going in the basement. Friday, doubling up in the alley in the basement. Saturday, look out.
Sunday, DJ Fatty's back.
DJ Fatty
Friday.
back on Sunday.
Sunday, Friday.
So yeah, are they tapering off? Nope.
No, they're just cranking up. They're
They
getting
are
more.
cranking up. That'd be a good one on Thursday. What you'll follow them on social media. Their social media stuff on
That's gonna
Instagram
be
is really good.
unreal.
That Morgan Wallen one should be all right.
Jack, you got a buddy that could win that or
Can
what?
you grow a mustache real
No,
quick?
I can't win that.
What about
I got
DeFoss?
some buddies. Yeah.
Your effort in
say.
anything. If something bothering you, Jack, do we need to go for lunch? Like,
Jeez.
What's the matter,
Trying to
Jack?
help you out here. We just gave you the week.
all right.
I'm good. Yes. Well, come on. Am I winning that? No.
No, but you got some Munson buddy.
You
It's
got
a
it.
great excuse to get out there. Let's go.
You're not winning with that attitude.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Tell you
There's
what.
no losing. There's only trying and there's learning.
right.
And,
Live and learn.
yeah.
Living and learning.
You're as excited for Stampede as Boomer is about slow pitch and Wainwright. That
Crying,
shouldn't
loving,
be
and leaving.
matched.
You know what? You're a big
Softball.
George Strait fan. I expect you to take some of advice. There's a difference between living and living well.
Listen to your elders.
Son.
There is a difference between living and living well.
Wow.
Looking at the beef bao buns here. Oh my god. Carne asada. Steak taquitos.
What's
Chicken
I've never had a
adobo,
Jamaican
Greta YYC.
spring roll.
Lots going on at
I
Greta.
would have a Jamaican spring roll. They dropped a few off.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
If they dropped one off, get me tickets to that.
Hmm.
Have you got them tickets for tonight? Tomorrow night's.
I was hoping he'd forget, but if he circles back, I'll actually look for him.
Very nice.
You didn't forget about the Stamps game. He did indeed show up.
And what day did I let you know?
2:00 day of the game. They appreciate those two
Yeah.
because there's nothing to do on a game day. No one's busy.
Thank you,
They're
Jay.
sitting around
You
just
guys took
waiting.
great
Where
care
were
of
we
me. Great
that
seats. About row 4 or 5.
Because we were
You were here. We did a show.
yeah, but I remember it's Rhett just texted me.
And we were at the Garrison.
That's what it was.
Yes.
I just got a text from Rhett. He says, "Can I get 5 tickets?"
2 p.m. Rhett needs
2
5
p.m.
seats.
I'll just give me 5.
Yeah, kickoffs in 5 hours.
The
And,
answer can be no.
It's true.
right. But the whole idea is if you give us 2 weeks, it's always going to be yes because people love Rhett.
Well,
Yeah.
don't feel bad saying no to me. I say no to everyone.
If you
Or
say
I
anything
just,
at all.
if I ignore, it's the same thing.
Bet 365.
Ignoring means no, just for the record.
Download the app, get in the game, must be 19 or older. Please play responsibly.
Yeah.
Use the promo code NATION when you sign up if you haven't already. You're going to love the app. You're going to love the app. You get in there, start looking around. How about these Blue Jays?
Bo Bichette, home run 2 games ago, warning track last night, starting to heat up, cashed in a couple runs with a single, playing the home run game with Bo because he's tagging it pretty nicely right now. And Nathan Lucas has been hitting leadoff against righties. It's been working A-OK. 2 hits for him, plus 115, 425 for the Bo dinger. A little big game hunting.
Are the White Sox still hot trash?
They're really bad. They're not Colorado Rockies bad,
Right.
but they are better than last year. I think they were 30 and 60 going into last night's game, which
Is
is
that where
a
friend of the show is
huge-
playing?
No, he's in Washington. They just fired the manager.
Right. And they just fired some folks.
Yeah, he had a couple of really good starts
Yes, sir.
for the last one.
Very nice.
Yeah, striking guys out like
And-
crazy.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Just bet 365. Download the app, get into the game. Please play responsible. Be 19 or older.
Jay's been fun lately.
Be making some hay on old bet 365. You've been on this.
Grow the stack with the Jays the last
Sure.
2 weeks. Sure.
Nice.
9 in a row.
Very nice. I don't have a horn, but we have a super chat. And is this a dirty one? I kind of took a glance at this. Is this? It feels like this is offside. Like I always say,
We're gonna do it
please be
anyway.
Tasteful.
Pull it down really quick.
You Centers of Calgary
They don't
going
want
to
anything to do with this.
benefit
Oh,
with the
boy.
dough. I'll let you.
Don't do it. then.
Feels dirty.
No, it's not.
Handsome Dan, $50. Jack, your mom messaged us. Very nice lady. You should visit and call her more. Paying attention to our moms makes us better sons.
Oh, really? Because I ignored my mom when she sent me this. I'll send it to you, Jack.
What is going on here?
What's going on with Handsome Dan and your mom, Jack?
Your mom messaged.
Well, my mom lives out on the island. That's where I got to be, by the way. I need to be on the island at the lake.
Yeah,
Okay.
you do. Get your ass out
You're
there.
very
Um,
specific on where you need to be at 25 years old. Good God.
I think it just means this weekend, maybe, instead of being in some.
Anyways,
My
mom lives on the island. Handsome Dan's out on the island. Maybe she's looking to
is she sliding into his DM?
slide in.
She hot tubbing with Handsome Dan
She,
on the coast. She going fishing?
Maybe.
I'm interested in some of your property.
Well, it's for the kids, I guess.
I'm interested in some of those private parts that you've got online. Handsome Dan's a gentleman.
Yes, he is.
And a scholar.
Well, I was pretty sure he was.
And if he's got people's stop talking, Dean.
Yep. Thank you.
It's Jack's mom. That's actual real life thing. You have a mom, and we're talking about her now.
Don't
on the
need to do that
internet.
Yes, we
anymore.
are.
Next. Thank you, Dan. Back to you.
It'd be beautiful out there now, though, eh?
Oh, so nice.
And why are you? Yeah. So what's holding you back?
No, I'm here with you guys.
Oh,
That sucks.
well, you could do it remotely, can't you?
Oh, they got no internet or anything out there.
In
Really? Off the grid?
Yeah, they're a
let's
little
go.
off the grid on the
Living
lake.
Red
on the
Stream.
island.
Let's
Yeah.
get the F.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's cult
You guys
this
wanna
shit
all
up.
go?
Let's go. Old handsome dad didn't mention that when we were talking about the
I think he's on the grid, but
the
Jack's
rental
mom's off
spots.
the
It's
grid.
like, oh, we got a hot tub and it's on the water and fishing and no internet. Ooh, it's a nice little selling feature. Well, thanks for the generous donation there, handsome Dan. Quick fitty for the youth centers of Calgary. I like that a lot.
Is this a compliment? Like if your mom sends you this?
What is this? She said.
If I need sound advice, I call my firstborn. If I need a partner in crime, I call my secondborn.
Which one are you?
Hmm.
I gotta know
You
which
can
one.
guess.
Yeah.
Not sure what you're saying, Mom.
It's just nice that you're
Thanks for thinking of
staying in touch,
I got the balaclavas, and I know which bank we're hitting.
Thanks for
Right?
thinking of me.
because a lot of times I would think as a parent you don't hear from your kids. Oh, very sad.
They're okay.
At least you guys have a nice little back and forth going.
Mhm.
Heartwarming.
Mama tried. Mama tried.
Got a message that we got one coming in here, but it's tricky. It happens more than once. People will put the money in and then send the message, but they don't put any content in the message. But we take the $8.
52 audit 52. Okay.
Yeah, appreciate that a lot.
Your boy Jay was on a roll on Friday. by the way.
Oh, I bet he would have been there too. Yeah. He's not afraid. He's gonna drown his Oiler sorrows. I get it.
It's too bad.
It's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a shame.
CJ, you got like 10 seconds to get it.
So that thing that you sent, are we waiting for it to
You
come
don't
up?
have to put it up.
We can
you
use
said
it
something,
Thursday. That's fine.
Oh, you just read it.
I just read it.
You just read it.
Bump
And
stick
the,
dicks at me.
Okay, we'll just
We'll
move
leave
on.
that for Thursday.
Very good. So again, Surge game,
Tomorrow night,
which is what day of the week?
Wednesday, the 9th.
Wednesday the 9th.
I hate for those people that just play the clip.
Yeah. They'll be racing,
No, it's all right.
dropping off
People
kids at daycare.
You're going to go to buy the tickets.
What is it tonight?
No,
Or they're
not
going to buy the
tonight.
tickets and then show up
Oh,
tonight and be like,
jeez.
it's not.
Oh, geez. We did giveaway tickets last year to the Stampede game. Someone drove to Winsport. We're like, oh, guys, come on. We're trying to give you free tickets here. Just read the ticket. Come on, guys.
Walk in at some.
Speaking of Jay,
Is this in sync?
he'll be going tomorrow.
What do you mean? At Backstreet Boys concert? I came to watch the Surge. Stupid Pinder. But Mike Morreale, you may know him from his CFL exploits.
12 years in the CFL as a slot back. He was the president of the PA for 2 years.
Sharp
Worked
guy.
on Ticats broadcast, and then launched this league that the Surge play in, and has been their commissioner since 2018.
There you go.
Fancy boy. Coming to town.
Coming to town. Mike Morreale in conversation with Pinder.
Tomorrow night, it is Calgary against Montreal, the Alliance against the Surge at the Saddledome, the second game at the Saddledome. The first was the opener last year, over 12,000 fans in attendance, and it's the Stampede, and your ticket gets you into the grounds. This is a big event for the Surge, and they've been very, very excited about it for a while. It's not something the league's unfamiliar to, but when you look to the Surge and you see them getting involved in the Stampede, playing in a huge NHL rink, what excites you about that?
I just like the risks, taking some risks, right, and trying to do things differently. Calgary Surge have done a really good job at expanding out in the community, all four quadrants of the city, but even beyond that, going to Red Deer, obviously this year, playing in the Saddledome previously. And, it's not just a return to the Saddledome, but it's a return to the Saddledome during Stampede. So it's just different. It just, we want to be where people are and give them an opportunity to see what the CBL is all about, and certainly what the Surge is all about. So I expect a really good game against some really good teams.
Have you been to Stampede? I know in the CFL, it was always a rule, like, get the players the hell out of here. A, there's probably not enough hotel rooms, and B, there's a lot of trouble to get into. That changed this year. The Stampeders had a Stampede Eve or opener game, their Stampede Bowl, which was a huge success. But as a guy that played in the league forever and then represented the union for a while, did you ever get to Stampede on your own?
No, they didn't trust us. And I don't blame them. I got to be honest. I don't blame them one bit. This will be my first Stampede. I've never been to a Stampede. And for many of the reasons I was playing, and then obviously in my role now, I just hasn't met up. But this is a great opportunity to phone a couple of my buddies down for Jesse Lumsden and say, hey, what do I got to get myself into here? Let's see. Let's watch some good basketball. Let's watch some horseback riding and cattle roping and some concerts. I'm pumped about it.
Well, hopefully you got the same size feet as Lumsden, because you can always tell the tourists. You need the cowboy boots, Mike. It's not an easy purchase, but they last a lifetime. So you get Lumber on the line, and he'll get you decked out, the old Western gear, the cowboy hat. We're looking forward to the game. It's going to be a ton of fun. This is year 3 in Calgary. The Surge were a franchise from elsewhere. There was, I think, an exhibition held here late in the season prior with an Edmonton team. But what has the Calgary Surge and this ownership group meant to the league through 2.5 years?
Well, I think they've meant quite a bit. Obviously, the West Division or Western Conference is really strong. Got great ownership across all the teams. Calgary's a big market, relative to the other markets, and they've seemed to do a really good job integrating themselves. I mean, certainly from a community perspective, they have been everywhere and anywhere in their short history. What they've done on the court, I mean, they've gone back-to-back championship weekends in their first 2 years. They're trending that same direction now. So I just love what they've done to get out in front of people, and not just get in front of people, but bring people into win sport, or bring people into the Saddledome that have never been in those arenas before, for a chance to see something different. That's something, maybe plays more close to the hearts of some of the fans that we have, which are young and very diverse. So, that's you got to do boots on the ground to do that, right? You have to get out in the community, and the Surge have done a tremendous job.
It's funny because the league feels new to us, but you're not. You guys have been at it since 2018 when you co-founded the league and have been the commissioner since day one. I feel like people are like, you're explaining the target score and everyone's excited about these venues that have so much energy. Like, man, these games go by quick. You're not hanging around for 4 hours, which, some other leagues have had issues with that. And I think in today's world, the 2 to 2.5 hour entertainment window seems to be the spot. How would you explain the CBL to a Calgary, to the Stampede? It's like, oh, I heard about that. What is it? What is the CBL?
Sometimes it's best for me to compare it to what else people know. We're not the NBA, but we're the best basketball played in North America outside the NBA. I mean, our talent is G League level or better. Where we're a little different than the G League is we play more of a team game. So the G League really is there to try to get the two-way players on the NBA clubs go up and down. It's just a lot of selfish basketball, but it's good basketball, but it's just different. And in our league, it's about gelling as a team quick. We're a 6'8", 6'9" league that plays above the rim, very transitional up and down the court. But it's not just the level of play, which is incredible. The FIBA-style games, to your point, it's quick. You're in and out in a couple hours, less timeouts. Our target score ending, which I probably don't have time to explain, but if you see it once, you'll kind of be like, oh, now I get what that's all about. This is the best way to finish a basketball game, which is really, next bucket wins, backdoor basketball, or backyard basketball. And then, just that everything that's wrapped around the game, the music and the art and the lifestyle and the shoes and the culture, a lot of that is just part of the game itself. And our teams do a really good job with DJs throughout and a lot of stuff going on before the game, during the game, after the game. But if you can head out to a game, you can have dinner before, hit the game, go out after, go to the game, grab some drinks after. There's a lot of flexibility because of that kind of 2-hour time window. And your attention span is still there, right? Nowadays, attention spans are short, but the quality of play is incredible. I would encourage anybody who hasn't seen a game to please watch one, and I'm pretty sure you'll be hooked. It is a really upcoming sport, obviously, in this country. But, the trajectory of Canadian basketball, Canadian talent, the NBA, Europe, the CBL is huge. And you can see the groundswell that's happening.
Yeah, well, it doesn't hurt. You get guys like SGA winning the MVP of the NBA and as a champion. Like it's not just, there's a Canadian. It's like there's multiple Canadians on many teams in the NBA. And we're starting to see some NBA talent and guys with NBA pedigree trickling into your league. Has that been an emphasis, or is that just coaches and teams trying to find good players, and there they are?
I was just talking about this today. I think one of the biggest tipping points in our league was when we got through COVID. We're the first league in the country to play in a bubble back in 2020. What is it? I don't even remember 2020. And, we followed up with another 2021 season where we were the first league to allow fans back across the country. So when you're able to face adversity and get through some things, albeit just because you're just crazy, you got no choice, you're not even thinking about it. You're just putting one step in front of the other. And, we're risk takers, we're disruptors. But that particular time, I think, was incredibly important for us because there was no European basketball. So those players didn't have a place to play, but there was a place to play in the CBL. And that led into an NBA season, which had all those COVID issues. But then our players started getting called up on these kind of 10-day contracts. And once you create a pathway, then it's like a snowball effect. And once these players leave the teams they play on and they go to Europe or they go to the G League or they go to the NBA, they tell their teammates. And then next, we have thousands of people that want to play in the CBL. That's a good problem to have. And that allows us to now look at what's next. Do we expand? Do we grow? What do we do with our rosters? Because the talent level is there and the desire to be there is here too, because they know the pathway's been created and they can get seen and noticed and get some more money or get a better contract or live out.
It's a short season and I love it. It kind of fits the Calgary summer here. You start in May, you're wrapped up by the end of August. Where do most of your players spend their winters? And if you were going to describe the typical CEBL player, it's probably a Canadian, given that, most of your rosters and on the court, you've got a percentage that have to be Canadian. But these are guys that are playing some really high level basketball, maybe in the winter elsewhere. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, all of them do, with the exception of, our developmental players, which are usually U Sports or CCAA athletes. They'll return back to school, generally speaking, which is another huge advantage to them. But we have, I think, over 50 players this year that are G League players. So Canadian and American, they'll go back to the G League or if they get lucky enough to the NBA. We have another, 90 plus players that are European players, but at the highest level. They're playing in Spain, LCB, the gold or the silver level, which is incredible basketball, or in China, or in all over Europe, Asia, etc. And, they go there for 7-8 months of the year, make some pretty good money, and they come home, and the players that we attract are the ones that want to get better. The ones that said, I made my, couple $100,000 here, but I want to make more, or I want to get my foot in the door or be seen by the NBA or other leagues. So we don't get a lot of characters in a bad way. We get a lot of players that are here to play. They really want to play. They want to show what they're about. They're great community ambassadors, and they're high-level players. They don't take games off. So it's fun, and we're glad, we're an important part of their journey, albeit a smaller part of the journey, but we play a very important, crucial role in that whole kind of year.
It's funny. We got a soccer team here in the CPL, obviously a CFL franchise. You guys are here. Those are all sort of overlapping summer products, but I just, less about the leagues and more about this country. It seems like the biggest challenge for all these leagues, even the new Women's Pro Soccer League, it's ownership and a venue. And just the sports infrastructure is really a large challenge. How's it been on the basketball side? Because you don't need infrastructure that's as difficult as, say, a soccer or a football pitch. There's a lot of hockey rinks that have seats in this country. Is the infrastructure challenge as real for you guys as it is the other leagues I mentioned?
It's real in a way that sometimes a market won't have a mid-sized venue. So let's look at Calgary, for instance. The WinSport's great, but you're limited at like 3,700-ish. And then you got Saddle Dome at 18,000 plus. You don't have that 7 to 10 or 5 to 10. Some of our markets do, and they excel because you have the intimacy of a little bit of a smaller bowl, but you can also grow to fill it. There are no purpose-built facilities for basketball in this entire country. So there's no basketball facility. They're all arenas that have been, we convert them the best we can. But again, that's the fact that we have venues to play in and we can tweak them and modify them is a great thing. The fact that they're generally speaking open to us most of the time because arenas are pretty dead in the spring and summer, that you have a good relationship with the landlords. They want to keep their staff happy. Yeah. They want to bring people into their venue, for instance, that have never been in it before. But, we're always pushing for that purpose-built facilities or practice facilities or indoor facilities for indoor sports, which are very lacking. I've spent some time in Calgary. You guys have, cornered the market on the majority of that stuff, with the exception of that mid-size arena. But, place like Ontario, we don't have those, which is crazy. You'd think you have all the facilities. We don't have those indoor training centers and all that stuff. So that's kind of a mid to long-term goal of mine, is to lobby to get those types of things built. Tennis did a really good job at building facilities, and now we're seeing tennis players at the highest levels all over the world. So a lot of facilities have a major, major role to play in the development of the sport.
You've been very much on the cutting edge of marketing. You called your league, disruptors was a term you used, which I think is totally accurate. You're not afraid to take risks. You noted that. Part of that is going to the Saddle Dome tomorrow night for the second time, and one of 2 trips this year. Part of that was an outdoor game in Montreal. Part of that is bringing in basketball influencers. So like Tristan Jazz is a guy on the Vancouver roster. How did he become a player in the CBL, and how's that experience been?
It was pretty cool. We got notified through Tristan came out last year with Scarborough and did like a day or two messing around with them, doing some trick shots, and then kind of held his own in some of the practice time. And I think he was like, man, I really want to play. He's a baller. He's a hooper, college level baller that just turned his attention elsewhere. And it's been quite successful, I might add. He's got over 11 million followers and really great kid. So, we put it out to our teams. Vancouver saw the benefit, right? Vancouver's like, listen, this makes sense. And let's give him a shot. And if he makes it, great. If he doesn't make it, well, he doesn't make it. But, if he works hard, we'll give him a chance. He went out there to a lot of fanfare, Kids loved him out there. I mean, the lineups for his autograph were out the door and back again, which kind of, when I look at the business, obviously there's a basketball component, but then there's that influencer component. Let's face it, right? We had J. Cole play here a couple of years ago, which was mind blowing. And Tristan for the younger generation is like J. Cole. Like, it's a big deal. So all those things are cool. But even, we tried an outdoor game. We've got through a half. It was probably the craziest, coolest experience I've had of one half of basketball. And then Bedlam set in and you try and solve for it. But, I hope to do that again. And I hope to do some different things. The target score is a big disruptive thing that no other league in the world does. And we just want to be different. We want to be a fun, entertaining experience, right? We play really, really good basketball, but we're not limited to that.
Fair enough. Tell me more about that outdoor game, because I believe, was it not a tennis venue where the National Bank Open is every summer that you converted, and literally just blue skies above, but there was a bit of a mishap at halftime.
Well, we had that on hold for 5 days because, let's face it, you never know what's going to happen late May. And it rained all 5 days, including the day of the game. We had tarped the court and done all this stuff. And then all of a sudden the blue skies open. And we're like, oh, my God, the stars are aligning. Well, they aligned for a little bit. We got, 9,000 people showed up. It was at IGA Stadium in Montreal. It was an incredible experience. When you're sitting in the stands, you can see the clouds and the planes flying by. And it just, dusk kind of falls and you're playing under the lights. It was very, very cool. And then when we went to halftime, come those 15, 20 minutes, it's like the dew point hit and all that moisture that was laying around just got sucked up through the court, and it was like an icing rink. And, we had fans, like I couldn't tell you, it must have been 100 fans on the court on hand towels trying to clean it. It was a very cool experience, and the players are great, but you can't put them in harm's way like that. And we had to call it early, but that just gave me a taste for wanting to do it again.
I was at the first Saddledome game, which I believe was the opener for the Surge last year, and it was incredible. I mean, great sort of atmosphere and in-game activations around it. Huge crowd. You could tell there was a large appetite and excitement around the Surge and basketball in the community. What are you excited for tomorrow night at the Dome?
I think just integrating the Surge into Stampede and just the amount of people coming and going, just so it's part of that event. I mean, obviously Stampede's a world-renowned event. I'm excited to go for the first time, but it's a big to-do. It's a big destination. It's where people go and if we get people coming into our game for a couple hours and watching what's going on and head back out to enjoy the rest of their evening. I think it just, anytime you can weave yourself into the fabric of a community, and there's no bigger, I guess, event in Calgary than the Stampede, and just being part of that, no different than what the Stampeders did to kick off Stampede, right? It's just attaching themselves to something, and it goes both ways. The Stampede has been very gracious in allowing us to bring our basketball event there without, worrying about it cannibalizing anything or vice versa. We just want to be part of that whole festival, and I think that's important to introduce yourself to people that have never seen you before.
I want you to tell me about Championship Weekend. The Surge are having a great year. They're in position to do what they've done the last 2 years, which is be one of the best teams in their conference to get a chance to head to the host city. Where are we going when? And what do you make of the speculative field at this point?
Well, it's going to be exciting Championship Week, and it's in Winnipeg. And if the fans know anything about Winnipeg, it is a hotbed for the CBL basketball. We're averaging 10,000 fans a game. I expect come Championship Weekend that we're going to sell out the building. We're at the Canada Life Center, so we play where the Jets play, and done that since day one to great success. So the West is going to be tough because the host gets a bye. So Winnipeg's getting that bye into the semis, and then it's going to be a dogfight between the Calgarys and the Edmontons and the Vancouvers, and Saska's coming on too. You never know. Any given day, the standings move through 3-4 spots. But all four teams will meet in Winnipeg, 2 from the East, 2 from the West. It's the Final Four meets the Grey Cup. So there'll be street festivals and concerts and halftime shows and commissioners' luncheons and breakfasts and award shows. It's a Canadiana basketball event, and the beauty about going to Winnipeg this year, the city has really gotten behind us. The province has gotten behind us. So it's going to be a substantial event, our biggest one to date, and one that is going to be pretty exciting. So I know the Surge want to be back, but so do a handful of other teams. So we'll see what happens.
Finally, it's an incredible career you've carved out. Everyone would assume that back in 2018, when you were a broadcaster, following some work with the PA, and after a 12-year CFL career as a football guy, you co-founded a basketball league and have signed up to be the commissioner for the first decade with your contract running through 28. Can we call you a basketball guy or a football guy, or is this just Mike Morreale is the entrepreneur?
You know what? I think it's just the way I'm wired. I would have loved to be in football because I that's what I knew. That was what got me to where I am today. But the CFL is a pretty small, insulated league, and it takes a minute to get through a few of those doors. They've been held by the similar people for quite some time, but that's okay. I had all this knowledge of the CFL, which prior to us in the CPL was the only national domestic league in the whole country for 100 plus years. So, I've become a basketball guy. I kind of created the CFL of basketball, for lack of a better word or lack of a better analogy. And, was able to take the really good pieces because I can peel them away and discard some of the ones that maybe didn't fit to what we were trying to do. And I'm in a really good sport at a really good time. So I'm pretty blessed that in hindsight, I'm exactly where I need to be and where I want to be.
Well, hey, we're excited to have you in town. If you've got Lumsden next to you, you're going to be able to go wherever you want to go. It's part bodyguard, part celebrity. So you're in great shape there. We hope it's going to be a great game. We hope the Surge come away with another thrilling victory. They've been having a great season thus far. And thanks for your time coming on today. We'd encourage everyone to get to the Surge website and Ticketmaster to get their tickets for the Surge to the Stampede at the Saddledome tomorrow night, 7:30 against the Montreal Alliance. Mike, thanks so much for your time today.
Appreciate you having me on, and hope to see a bunch of those fans shortly.